All right, here we go, y'all. Intro.
Whistleblowing flag on the play. Old head reckless, young trap got paid. Both sides foul, game dirty, game fake. Ain't no winners when the soul's at stake. First down, first lie, sharp in the zone. Big body, big bag, but a child on the phone. 56 years, couldn't leave it alone. Flexing with a 19, mind full grown. She knew the playbook, running them routes. Only fans hustle, no room for doubt. Line them up easy, bait in her mouth. Took the shot, took the tape, now cashing out. Flag on the play, both sides wild. Old fool, young shark, dirty to foul. This ain't love, it's a circus trial. Flag on the play, 15-yard pile. Flag on the play, lose it in style.
Break it down.
QB sneak in a DM slide. Touchdown dreams with a penalty pride. Tape rolling, contracts folding. You fumbled your legacy, fame corroding. She called an audible, flipped the scheme. Took the tape, made a lawsuit meme. Said consensual, bro, read the screen. You lined up wrong, now you part of the meme. Flag on the play, both sides wild. Old fool, young shark, dirty to foul. This ain't love, it's a circus trial. Flag on the play, 15-yard pile. Flag on the play, lose it in style. Both of y'all chasing clout, losing face. He caught slipping, she caught a case. Big money, bad press, dirty disgrace. NFL legend in a TikTok race. Timeout call, but the damage done. No Hail Mary saves when you play that dumb. Old tricks, new schemes, same sad run. Flag on the play, game over, son. Flag on the play, both sides wild.
Yeah.
Old fool, young shark, dirty to foul. This ain't love, it's a circus trial. Flag on the play, 15-yard pile. Flag on the play, lose it in style. Both of y'all chasing clout, losing face. He caught slipping, she caught a case. Big money, bad press, dirty disgrace. NFL legend in the TikTok race. Timeout call, but the damage done. No Hail Mary saves when you play that dumb. Old tricks, new schemes, same sad run. Flag on the play.
All right. Flag on the play. On the 1 and 2 for you, this is DJ Torch. I'd like to welcome you to tonight's live stream. We're gonna have some fun tonight. We're gonna have some fun tonight. Yes. Yes. Okay. Let me stop acting up. Let me bring up the clips. Let me bring up those clips because we got a lot of clips we need to go through quickly. First, let's go over some young brothers doing some good things out here. You know, I'm into fishing, so you know, I got to break something down real quick. So let me go like that. Boom. By the way, how's everybody doing tonight? Good to see Angela Reddick in the house. Caracia in the house. Flag on the play. That was a jam. Anyway, let's see what's going on with Travis Hunter. What's Travis Hunter up to? Let's see what Travis Hunter up to. Here we go. Uh-oh. Man, fine. I'm a little minute to go. Here we go. Wait. Refresh. Give me 1 second. I got a fix for this. Let's see. There. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Take this down. Stop screen share. Bring up. Okay. I don't want that one. I want the other one. Let's see here. There we go. There we go. Okay. Let me know if you can hear me. Miss Alto in the house. Miss Alto, it's good seeing you. Get it, Travis, get it. Get it, Travis. Get it out there. Get yourself another one. Get yourself another one. Another one and another one. See, y'all online talking about Travis, about his girlfriend and stuff. You know what he's doing? You know what he's doing? Gone fishing. What's good, Tevin? Tevin's in the house. Wait, can y'all hear? Wait. How about there? How about there? How about there? Look at it. Look at him do his thing. Football, training. Okay, I'm done now. Let me get to the good stuff. Okay. So doing all this football stuff, but here he goes. Oh, he got one already. He got one already. Anyway, I guess my point is this is that basically, Travis is doing Travis. He ain't trying to find out who's saying what about what not, who, where, whatever. He's just doing what he needed to do out there, which is having some fun, relaxing after training. Okay, here we go. Look at that. He got another one. Damn. Wait, here's one. Travis getting one. Travis getting a little fun in there. Travis getting a little bit of fun in there. Yep. They love Sports Illustrated. They love them some Travis. They love them some Travis. Y'all can talk shit about all Travis all day. They love them some Travis because he ain't into that buffoonery. He ain't into that buffoonery. But I tell you what, I'll show you somebody who into some buffoonery We can just warm up right now. Right now. Here we go. Okay, you all know about Floyd Mayweather. Not this 50 Cent on the screen, but we're gonna be talking about Floyd Mayweather. See, today is not just about Shannon, you know, messing up, not being sharp. Shannon not so sharp. It's about our culture not being sharp, a culture of men not being sharp, a culture of men that need to improve, and their weaknesses are exposed even when they do have money. Here we go.
That's tough because as part of the investigation to hunt Floyd Mayweather down for his financial controversy, his promotional agency, Mayweather Promotions.
Okay, let me see if I can bring that volume up a little bit. Hold on one second. I want to make sure you hear all of this. Where is that? No, oh, that's right. Okay. Give me 1 second. I don't know why it's so low tonight. Oh, it's installed already. Okay. Then let me go here. It is. Okay. All right, here we go.
Been frozen by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The fighters in Mayweather Promotions have all been told to leave and join other promotions as all activities have been on hold.
So this is a sad thing. This is really sad. Should I came up? Should I came up? Maybe I came up. Here we go. Okay. This is a sad thing right here. And I tell you why it's sad. It's sad. It's a shame. Do. Okay, there I gotta get my camera on. It's a shame. Okay, all that money he had, all that work he did to make money, which obviously he likes to make money because he calls himself Big Money Wade Mayweather or something, right? He's in money trouble.
According to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, more of Floyd Mayweather's tax fraud cases were linked to Mayweather Promotions, and the agency was looking more like a smoke and mirror screen to hide his financial crimes rather than a promotion agency to promote fighters.
Black. When my career is over, as far as me in a combat sport, as far as boxing, whatever, if I'm promoting on social media or I'm doing exhibitions, it's like, oh man, he's broke. No, it's not a crime for them to make money. They don't say nothing about the guys that's 80 and 90 that's still making hundreds of millions and billions, but as soon as somebody black does it, their own people say, oh, he's broke.
And see, the thing is this. Why in the world why they even having an argument about being broke? It's not because you're black, it's because you just found yourself broke. Let's keep going.
Listen, I got to where I can.
You see what I'm saying? Fights on every Golden Boy card. They do all the footwork
on the negotiations and the imprint, the paperwork.
They build the whole show. So when he says helping with Mayweather Promotions and it's not there, I go, okay, I know what he means. He wants me to get it together, put it together for him. So I do TNT Promotions. I get it all the way together. sign the actual fighters, we had acquisition of Gamboa. Like, I had a negotiated release, it was 1.2 million.
When compared with their counterparts in the promoting business, it's clear that Mayweather Promotions does a poor job in promoting their fighters. In recent times, only Gervonta Davis, Raleigh Romero, and recently Carmel Martin are the famous fighters to come out of Mayweather Promotions.
Now, yeah, I mean, he's got the few fighters he's got, they're really good, but other than that, you know, not a whole lot going on. Let's go dig in deep with finding out how men in our community are ruining their lives, and so a lot of times other people's lives as well. Right now,
Regarding GPS, Heather,
let's go back.
he's just being rained on here. I'm just saying, he's got these.
Okay, test one. Can you guys hear me? Okay, Henry Mars in the house. Yes, that's Henry. Endless supply of Dusties, Henry. I feel you. It's all day, every day. So anyway, here we go.
Pending charges in Macomb. He has, then as he travels around, there are the other charges that come up, granted, they are ultimately dismissed, but then you have these CSC charges coming up. There are then additional
T Mama in the house.
charges that come up that he's just being rained on here. And given at least, and I don't know what's going to come out of it, but given at least what I've seen from
Let's fast forward a little bit.
that may have invited him there for the good purpose to list him there. However, I don't think he was invited there to play out young girls.
Ooh, rewind. This man right here, he is a social media star who started, stocking. Here we go.
The latter half of all of that, from January at least, or from whenever he may have been arraigned in Macomb, all of that stuff is happening while he's on bond on the Macomb County thing. That in and of itself, quite frankly, it would be enough for me to deny that, quite frankly, to him, given the nature of the charge. Okay, all of that may be true. That's all. I may have invited him there for the good purpose to list him there. However, I don't think he was invited there to play out young girls. So, Chris Gaines, I had my staff share with you the complaint case. Yes, sir.
Okay, so today the judge, we're in Judge Miss Simpson's courtroom with a defendant accused of targeting a 14-year-old girl, flashing guns on social media and hanging around school zones while on BOND. So even though he's in big trouble already, because when you're on bond, that means you're in big trouble, right? Let me put everybody on there. I want to wait. No. That's not what I want. Let me go back here. Basically, why is it that we do this? We're already in trouble. We already got some issues going on. Things have happened. We've been warned, but we still do buffoonery. Yep, still do it. Let's keep it going.
We did have the opportunity to review the complaint. Anybody that's reading on the record, this time my client wishes to stay on mute, or not guilty.
And that's on case 1003. Good mute, not guilty.
Okay.
I won't set a problem. Well, I will set a
Uh-oh, video still low. Okay, let me blast it a little bit more. Maybe there's something going on here. Okay, if the volume is too low, y'all give me a what's going on this screen? Okay. Anyway, if it's too low, go ahead and put a 2 in the chat. 1 if it's an okay volume. I'm gonna bless it up again. Let me try that volume. Sounds loud over here though. Let's try that.
I'll set the provocateurs. Is the other one have one?
Yeah, it's scheduled for next week for the other matter.
The 11th. So I'll set provocateurs on this one for the 11th at 8:30. I won't set a preliminary exam, maybe it will come from that. So then the
Okay, so basically, yeah, I mean, that's now I understand why the red pill men say that women hit the wall at 30. And the reason why they hit the wall at 30 because these men want little kids. That's the logical situation we got going on now. Now, why am I on the other side? Hold on one second. Flag on a plane. I know there's a way to switch this around. But yeah, let me go back on here. So, and let me go like this. So yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem because, and it's the main problem because it's the same problem that Shannon got himself into. Men want children, not to be fathers too either. That's kind of messed up. Hang on a plane. I gotta fix something. I gotta fix that. That's gonna bother me all day if I don't fix it. Where is it? Stream overlay. Okay, maybe I got it now. Okay, or maybe it's this. No, that's not it. That's definitely not it. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna have to just mess around with it later. So anyway, let's keep on with it. Here we go.
Representing him until after.
correct, but
He's stating that he was on the tether prior to September of 2023.
okay. So, and just so you know, I asked that. My concern about that is he's on a tether for a felony out of Macomb.
Okay.
And in relation then to the dates of these offenses, then commits these offenses while on tether.
So while on tether, he's creeping around high schools and stuff. Shout out to Mr. DJ Music in the house. Good seeing everybody in the mix. So yeah, he's on tether and stuff. Why do we as men keep digging deeper holes? I guess that is my point. That is a problem. So let's go to another person who's digging a deep hole for themselves. And then we're going to get into the situation.
I wasn't there for my daughter. And she may expose me on one of these podcasts one day and say, Daddy, you're the reason I can't find good black love because you never validated me as a woman. You feel me?
Yeah, I feel you, bro. I feel you. Yeah. Now, here's the problem I have. I think his school opened up, believe it or not. And to me, opening up and being productive are two different things. Here we go.
If you with me, you with me. If you ain't, you ain't. I'm not begging
Everybody got to pick a side. Pick a side and stay.
So isn't that interesting that he wants you to pick a side? You know what I mean? He didn't take any ownership. He didn't take any ownership whatsoever of his shortcomings. Oh yeah, by the way, there's another woman out who's you know, in Shannon's, there she is. She's another Shannon Sharp accuser. But that we're not here for her. Charleston White's back at it again. And have you noticed that it's that the more, how should I put it? It always seems like those men that are just like the people they critique always are the ones out there first. I mean, let's put it this way: Charleston White ain't much better. He's not a better. Well, let's listen to him. But to me, in my opinion, he's no better than Shannon.
How you at the gym and you let this 20-year-old damn near teeny bop, little young white bitch get you 50 million? You offered a pink toe Peckerwood 10 million.
Charleston White really let loose on Shannon Sharp, and man, he ain't hold back even a little. After everything that went down with Shannon, Charleston made it loud and clear. Shannon been sold out a long time ago, and what's happening now is that his time is up, and the Hollywood machine is done with him. The first thing Charleston did was remind
The Hollywood machine. What is that about? What is the Hollywood machine supposed to be about? I mean, so what? There we go. Okay, I fixed it, y'all. Look at that. I fixed it. There we go. Okay, that's what I want. So, Hollywood, what makes, okay, let me ask you this. What makes anything in Hollywood make a black man beat down on women? What is it in Hollywood that makes you do that, especially when you have money? Especially when you have money. Here we go.
How Shannon once said he wouldn't even step onto an elevator alone with a woman to avoid getting caught up. But now he's out here at the gym letting a young woman run up on him. Charleston straight.
She didn't run up on him. He ran up on her. Let's make that clear. He kept gawking at her. He kept gawking at her. Let's get that out of the way first. You know, he kept gawking at her. I want to get them chats in, everybody. Let's get this thing going. He was gawking at her. Let me keep it going.
How you at the gym and you let this 20-year-old damn near teeny bop, little young white bitch get you?
How you going to talk about? How in the world are you going to get yourself arrested for smoking drugs? Like that, Monug ain't got no legal license not more than 3 months ago. Charleston White. But now you here up on here judging, acting all weird, dressing like a teeny bopper. How you gonna do that? You just got out of jail yourself, bruh.
50 million. You offered a pink toe Peckerwood 10 million.
But Charleston wasn't just talking about this one situation. Nah, he went way back, digging into the real reason there's tension. He explained that Shannon had a problem with him.
Well, your Ocho brought your name up a couple times.
Yeah. Shannon really don't like you.
I done call all football players. You know, so
Shannon's feelings weren't random either. Charleston made it known.
I mean, that's a funny thing. Charleston White is literally calling football players stupid, right? And he doesn't come off as an intellectual himself. The queen maker ran circles around him, whether you like it or not. That's what she did. So it's not like he's a genius. Why are you going to, if you're just as dumb as rocks as Shannon is, why are you going to diss Shannon for being dumb as rocks? Then it's just two boxes of rocks. That's what I see. Two boxes of rocks boxing it. You know? Here we go. Two boxes of rocks. Yeah, Shannon has T-Mama, you hit it. Okay. Shannon has that that I don't know, want to be, Matt, I want Master's girl complex. I guess that you would call it that. Here we go.
Wild about a lot of football players before. He called them big old, dumb, stupid men and clowned Deion Sanders hard too.
I done offended and insulted everybody. But you gotta understand,
Now, that's the funny thing. He's insulting everybody, and it's like it ain't like he's above them in any way, shape, or form. But you want to know why he's got this clout? Because a community of men who follow this kind of crap. He's got a community of men. He is literally a leader. It is the craziest thing, you could ever see. How are we went from one bad leader to another. Now, there's a reason why they call Shannon Sharpe Unc. Unc is supposed to be, he's supposed to be everybody's uncle. He's just like remember how they used to call Kevin Samuels, like his form of Unc? They call him King Samuels. One dude, I know he calls him Saint Kevin. Oh, man. Y'all really know how to pick them. I don't know if they're more mad at me criticizing the so-called leaders themselves, or their choice of leadership. Look who we got for leaders. Charleston While? Are you freaking kidding me? And now Shannon Sharpe? Well, at least he played football. He was good at football. But we have to give him that much. But anything else, nah, not at all.
I said some horrible things about Deion and the boys. You see what I'm saying? This is alumni. I said some horrible things about Deion is the modern day Bill Cosby, and the boys is Theo Huxtable, yeah, man.
So that's what it is. Okay. I don't think he means the new Cosby that everybody knows these days, who was like preying on women. He means like in the show. So basically, this is what's going on. We have a war against thugs versus square black men. That's what it's coming down to. Thugs versus square black men. Mushmouth, like Charleston White's, against square men, like, let's say, who's somebody that, like, for example, come on. It'll come to me. But yeah, basically, yeah.
He's the modern day of that. This is the Fresh Prince and Bel-Air family.
Charleston wasn't shy about admitting he had said some horrible things about Deion and the whole ideal father image that people love to push. He painted Shannon.
Wait a minute. Okay. The whole ideal. Listen to this again.
This is the Fresh Prince and Bel-Air family.
Charleston wasn't shy about admitting he had said some horrible things about Deion and the whole ideal father image that people love to push. He painted Shannon as part of that fake TV family image. And according to Charleston, that cut deep for Shannon.
What?
We idolize this family. Deion is the ideal father in the black community. This is, yeah. So in her,
I mean, well, he's better off than you. I mean, he's better off than you. All of his sons seem to be productive. I mean, he cheated a little bit, but I mean, his kids seem to have turned out okay.
here I am attacking him in his toe in his ball. So yeah,
Now, remember now, Charleston just got out of prison. I mean, not prison, but jail. Let's be accurate. Hold on one second. Let me. Wait. Let me do it like this. Let me drop that down. Go to this. Go to this. Let's see what comes up. Here we go. Tags and no insurance. But he's being judgmental about Deion Sanders. That's not the problem. That's just, your average day ignorance, right? Hey, there's a bug in the house. That's just average day ignorance. Don't worry about that part. This is the part. This is the part right here.
Yeah, you got insurance and driver's license, please. Even a driver's license?
Even his driver's license. Great fathering, isn't that? Getting arrested right before he's supposed to pick her up. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Flag on the play. Flag on the play. Look at y'all role model. Look at y'all role model right here. Police is all being patient with him and everything. Flag on the play. Look at that. Flag on the play. I mean, let me bring this up some more. Here we go. Ain't got it. That's your role model, y'all. That's your role model. You guys said he was.
An ID or anything with it?
You want my license number?
Charleston might appear to not have his insurance or driver's license with him, so that made things more complicated for the officer.
Charleston, first name?
That made more things complicated for Charleston While, because the officer's like, okay. He.
See, I rushed out the house, dropping CJ off, and that's what happened. And I had lunch with
It doesn't have anything on the computer at all. So this is valid policy, right?
Oh,
American. Okay. All right, man, I'll give them a call. If they say it's good, then I'm good, okay? If they say it's not good, then it's gonna be a ticket. All right, and that's how it is, man. We don't really play here and everything with no insurance. That's how I'm gonna keep it, all right?
Okay, so I'm gonna fast forward. I want to show you how it ends up because we gotta. Here we go.
I got a lot of clips, man. I walked into the police department, man. I do a lot of community work. And I went to the police department, man. A lot of killings going on in the city. Folk out against the kitchen gloves. somebody did a viral video of me saying that I switched
He's
up.
what he's doing. What you don't know is he's mumbling to them. It sounds like mumbling. He's mumbling to them about how he's a community activist. He literally is.
Where you from? I'm from Fort Worth. Okay. And my daughter goes to school right up here at the school, man.
Flag on the play.
Just dropping something off at work. I run a community center.
I mean, that's crazy to me. That's crazy. Here we go.
I've done Fort Worth, I hike about hiking families. So I do a lot of work in the community, management, a lot of event vibes. So I do a lot of field upon my life. I got over 100 trips now. Last, I just had to go to the police department and make some trips. So just the hard street trips, the 4-3 gangster trips.
You hear him? Look at him. He got them cuffs on. He ain't holding his hands back there for no reason. He got them cuffs on. He got cuffed. He got cuffed, y'all. And but let's go back. Let's go back now. Let's go back. But he has the nerve to talk this shit. Now, this is the funny part here, is he has the nerve to talk this shit about Shannon. Here we go.
It jumped on P. Lloyd.
From there, Charleston flipped it even harder. He pointed out Shannon wasn't just salty over some words. He said Shannon Sharp turned his back on the real ones a long time ago, while Charleston stayed being the favorite uncle, showing love to the streets, the strip clubs, and real culture. He claimed Shannon chose to play the corporate game, thinking that would keep him safe.
They fighting for buffoonery.
Y'all know if I can get on, I got to get on Shannon Sharp's ass now. Now, for one,
Okay, remember now, he just got his ass arrested. Recently. I mean, I won't say it like was last week. It was like in the last couple of months. For not handling his business. And more. So, one dude goes after, literally went after teenagers, Shannon Sharp. Then we have one dude, you can't stay out of jail. You can't make this stuff up. Let's go. Wow, okay, here we go. Okay. Wait. Let me get Cynthia G's opinion on this.
It was a female and she was not accompanied by a male. She was found in Ethiopia. She was Black.
Okay, let's fast forward. Okay.
There we go. Okay. So there's the link. Now I'm going to go back to this video and we'll listen to it. So let's listen.
As a white girl who has dated Black guys since the age of 15, I feel like you guys need my perspective on this Shannon Sharp shit because everything I'm seeing is like white women are fetishizing Black men.
Okay, can you guys hear that okay? If you can hear it, put a 1 in the chat. 2 if it's a little bit low. Here we go.
The Shannon Sharp said, like, the girl said something about, I want your Black baby, right? I have had Black men come to me and say, I want you to have my Black baby. Not, I want you to have my baby. That's the acceptable response. No, I want you to have my Black baby. And I have had Black men ask me to say very derogatory things in bed. Yeah. So part of it is not that white women are fetishizing Black men. It's like the opposite. And I feel like this isn't being talked about about, and I don't want to get any hate for this, guys, because this is my personal experience, but I've had more black men than not mention race in our relationship as like a king. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it.
Yes.
But there are some black men in this world that I think like want. I don't know.
And she's being nice. She's only saying some. She's not saying a lot, right? But it's a lot, because the reason why is because they always bring that up in the red pill community about how much better other races of women are than black women. And until something like this happens, right?
She's very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't know, but
I want to pause this because she's not lying, and you
Break it down. Break it down, Cynthia G. Break it down for them. Here we go.
can tell she's very uncomfortable talking about this because she doesn't understand it. That's the thing. I think she's very uncomfortable talking about this. And I also think she's coming to a realization while talking about it. She's coming to the realization that the reason that black men are approaching her is because they're coming from a broken place.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She's saying that all the black men that she dealt with wanted to engage in race play and be racially degraded.
So, I mean, there's a couple things going on here. Number one, she definitely, for her, it sounds like she dated the wrong kind of men. It's kind of the same reverse as like if a white guy dates a black woman, but weighs on the stereotypes that are given out there. The men that she has dated, it sounds like, are the guys who would call her a snow bunny. That's a really snow bunny. I have never heard of that being a positive, non-derogatory statement. So with that said, those men who have that snow bunny mentality, they're really just men who basically are not much better than any other, than a Klan member, really, because they have that racial separation thing. Instead of, you're supposed to get with people because of what you think of them mentally, about love and all that other crap, right? Not because they're a certain race, but that's what we have specialized in. And there's nothing that can be said about that, because black men date out more than any other race of men, I believe. Here we go.
And I told you guys, the notion that a group of men who went to the Supreme Court to have access to these women would then need these women to chase them? No. Black men chase white women. And I've never saw one white woman chase black men.
I haven't either. Let's put it this way. If a decent looking white woman went to a club, she was even in a black location, even a black nightclub, she is going to get a lot of black men trying to get her phone number. They're going to chase her all over around the club. I've seen it a million times. I was a DJ. I saw it. I never saw a woman of another race really have to put a lot of effort into getting the attention of, let's say, a large portion of the black male community. They just never did.
Living in Oregon and Washington, what I have seen is black men getting fights over white women. I've seen black men get busted over the head with bottles over white women. I've seen black men getting into fight with white men over white women. I see black men chase white women. I've never seen one white woman chase a black man, ever. I've never seen it. I've only ever seen black men chasing white women. That's all I've seen. And I've been in predominantly white places. Literally in Seattle, you would be hard pressed to find a black man with a black woman. Okay?
Right. I mean, basically, No black man's going to Seattle to look for a black wife. Let's just put it that way. I mean, that's just like going to Walmart to shop for a 5-carat diamond. You just don't go there. So basically, that's what's going down.
I'm telling y'all, black men chase white women.
Any arguments on that? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Let's keep this going because it's going. It's a lot like this.
How you doing? Gorgeous.
Thank you.
What's your name?
I'm Lauren.
Lauren?
Yeah.
From London.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise. Where you
What you
from?
got going on?
I just came from my people's house from down here. What about yourself?
Yeah, I'm over here just hanging out with my homegirl.
Oh, you live in this apartment complex?
Yeah.
Okay, smooth. Where you from?
I'm from Florida.
Florida? I'm from New York.
Oh, okay.
So it's nice to meet you.
You too. You too. I hope you have a good day.
Nah, for sure. Maybe we should get to know each other.
Yeah, what did you have in mind?
I mean, I'm saying maybe we should just connect, you know?
Okay.
You knew her?
Yeah.
I'm new as well, so, you know, maybe we can show each other the city or something. I know I'm in this world before, you know, I just like what I see, so I figure I speak.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, definitely.
No problem. You mind if I get your number?
Yeah.
What you got?
Yep. Yep. Singing that song, never wrong. Now, this is going to irritate a lot of people right here. You know something? I'm dropping the link. Here we go. I'm dropping the link. There we go.
Look at society. Where your son at right now? With him? Not growing up under your tutelage.
So, guys, we got Corey Holcomb, and he's going in on the Tracy Ellis Ross interview.
Because men who sleep with men are making laws that put in power. Now you can go around and young boys and brag on it and think ain't nothing wrong with them. But when Corey went on Cam Newton,
Corey Holcomb. Oh, Corey Holcomb. What a role model he is. Let's get into his role modelism. Here we go, folks.
you know, and see, I young broke lost. I was the worst motherfucker in the world.
This is why I say we got to call it for what it is. It's not about age or morality or dating preferences. It's about controlling double standards. And it's nothing but fake outrage that you really see from people. And I remember when he said he from the private.
So look, he's using role model. He's using Mr. Role Model Corey Holcomb. Okay. Disrespectful Corey Holcomb as a leader. He's using him as a positive example.
It don't take much to please him. He got a pocket full of money, fast car, and access to women in poverty. He got a lot of heat to that.
I'm from the project. It don't take much for me to be straight. I got a fast car, and I got access to a lot of girls in poverty.
Wow, he's literally bragging about being a male HORE. Yes, I had spelled that on purpose. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
So I'm with it.
And see, it takes one to know one. He's looking at that like, you know, oh, Corey, you a hoe. So am I. That's the look that, you know, that's the look that Cam Newton's giving him.
That's
Predatory? Yes.
access to a lot of girls. Matter of fact, you know what we want to talk about? Let's talk about relationships.
See, that's what these men are looking for. They're not looking for a relationship. They're looking for access to a lot of girls. And remember, he said girls. He didn't say women. He said girls.
And you got Cam Newton over there who acting like he don't know what the hell going on, even though he got 8 kids by 3 different women. But listen, I get it. You wouldn't be able to walk in a certain room still, get access to certain opportunities. so he can't co-sign certain things. Because let's be real, women are encouraged every day to find a man who's stable, more established. Translation, a man who can take care of them financially. The man who can upgrade her life.
No, actually, being stable and established doesn't mean you necessarily mean a man who can take care of a woman financially. It just means that a lot of women, especially in our community, just want a man who's freaking exactly that, stable. That's the problem. And that's a very small, what Kevin Samuels and all them other clowns forgot to tell you, that's a very small portion of our community of men who are capable of doing that.
Fund her soft life, pay her bills, that way she can rest in her femininity. And listen, the reality is, a lot of the people who are outraged, they're just pretending as if they don't know what it is. Let's be honest. Everybody not the most ambitious walking around. Everybody don't got a plan, or is the hardest, or is driven in order to reach the goals that they imagine themselves reaching.
Exactly. At least he was right about that. Welcome to the stage, Concrete Ghost.
I was trying to eat.
I'll keep it. Just let me know. I'll keep it going. Everybody give Concrete Ghost a hand of applause from the chat. Here we go.
That's reality. And some women understand and are actually honest with themselves in knowing that they don't have anything of value to offer a man but
See here. Okay. Okay. Testing 1, 2. I think I lost the connection for a second. Probably somebody trying to do some shit. But let me see here.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay. Now, how did that change up? There we go. That's fine like that. Okay. So basically the thing is that obviously this dude, Charles in Charge, reacts. Okay. Let me play this.
Conversation with her, and he damn sure don't want her being the mother to his kids. But her beauty is enough where he's willing to exchange his resources for her.
Now, here's the funny part. I don't even know why he's making it sound like that. More often than not, women are taking care of themselves anyway because men can't take care of them. So what makes him think that women do not know how to cook? I cannot think back to a relationship that the woman couldn't cook. See, this to me is one of the biggest myths in the red pill world, where they come up with all this BS about women not knowing how to cook, when really there's more men who don't know how to cook than there are women who don't know how to cook. It's just basically that. So you could tell this dude is coming from a red pill, misogynistic point of view, which really is irritating because it's a myth. I'm sorry. Probably about 85 to 90% of women know how to cook. Only about 60% of men know how to cook. I know this for a fact because I've seen it in life.
They won't know any better because they just hang out in their echo chambers. I mean, maybe the women they're looking at don't know how to cook, but they also equate womanhood with domestic labor. And to them, a woman's value hinges on how well she plays the wifey. And if she doesn't come with an apron and some heels and some cornbread already in the oven, she's dismissed. And they can't process that a woman who's educated, independent, can also stick their foot in some collard greens and roast. They lack the range, so they assume that all women do too.
Well said. Well said. Let's see. Oh, let me turn this overlay thing on. Okay, there we go.
Beauty as a transaction. And look, I think.
And okay, let's go with right here. This is where
women she dealt with were steeped in things like toxic masculinity, while the younger guys were more open to things like gender fluidity.
Listen, often I date younger men, and a lot of it is because
Let's stop on that, folks.
Oh my God, we had a great dinner. We had a great dinner, by the way. We're across the table. Your husband goes, but why? And I said, well, maybe because I can.
Yes.
But I had to ask myself the question, why? Why does this keep sort of coming up other than they're hot and gorgeous? There's that. But a lot of men my age are steeped in a toxic masculinity and have been raised in a culture where there is a particular way that a relationship looks. Because I have dated men my age, there is a difference. There is an openness that occurs with a younger man around whether it's gender fluidity or not even having an issue with homosexuality. I mean,
I think basically, I don't know if she's correct, to be honest with you. I've seen younger men are just as, I think, she could love in the house. They're just as misogynist as older men are. It's a different kind of misogyny. And the difference is that if she's willing to take care of a younger man, of course they'll be nicer to her. I think it's more to do with that than the way a younger man carries himself. Because there's a lot of younger men who don't carry themselves that are misogynist, in my opinion. What do you think?
Well, as long as the younger man is getting something out of it, I don't think too many of them going to put up a fuss. But usually when a woman flips the script like that, most men want to call it desperate, weird, or wrong. They're not actually mad because it's so-called wrong. They're mad because she's doing what they thought only they could do. They hate
Right.
women that can't. There's just a lot of insecure men that can't handle a woman who knows her worth and refuses to just fade into silence as she gets older.
Right.
It's just revealing the double standard.
Oh, and here's the kicker. All the younger men she's talking about they're in their 30s and 40s, right?
Hmm.
They're trying to defend, Club Shay Shay, who's literally dating teenagers. Same men, same guys.
Double standard. A woman that's over 40 with her own money, experience, and freedom is dangerous to fragile egos. When a woman is dating a younger man, that's just her saying, I choose to do what makes me feel alive, not what makes you feel comfortable. And they can't stand that. They cannot stand it.
something as basic as
And,
that.
and when you hear her talk like that, is it really a surprise that she can't deal with an older man, or she wants to deal with younger guys and says that's because they're more open? All that really means is they're easier to shape. Because I said this in the previous video.
So see, now he's talking about how I guess he's trying to say that they easier to shape younger men who are really older men, really. I mean, they're in their 30s and 40s. It's just she happens to be in her 60s or close to her 60s. So yeah, so the funny thing is that he has no smoke for Shannon Sharp dating kids, but he has all this smoke, for Tracy Ellis Ross. That's just that's just all these guys can deliver is bullshit hypocrisy, in my opinion. Man.
Imagine a man saying, yeah, I'm into younger women because they're more open to things like traditional gender roles. You would be categorized as the type of man who takes advantage of younger women.
No. See how he's trying to make them look, Tracy Ellis Ross's situation look equal to Shannon Sharp's situation when they have nothing to do with each other. A 50-year-old woman dating a 40-year-old or 30-year-old guy compared to a nearly 60-year-old man dating a teenager. It's not that they don't get it, they don't want to get it. That that gets on my nerves. Let's see. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Okay. Here's Cam Newton's opinion.
Here we go, first down.
Okay, so let's get past that.
Can we get past what he's wearing? Who told him that was okay? He's got money. He can do better than that.
True. Okay, let's see.
We have to talk about it. I think I want to start this off with a very serious note. No matter who you are, no matter the age, no matter the race, no matter what the circumstances entail, we do not subscribe to any type of sexual assault of any kind. I think what's tough about this is that when you talk about the
I just dropped a link. Here we go.
individual Shannon Sharp, and this has been a person to me that I can call on as a friend. This is a person to me who I can call as an advisor, and just flat out, this is a person who I look up to. Yeah,
Told you, role model, supposedly.
But he started off saying that he doesn't subscribe to any kind of SA.
Right.
Okay. This woman is currently 19. This has been going on 2 years. This woman is currently 19. 2 years ago, she was 17.
Oh man, I didn't catch that.
She is currently 19 years old. And he met her in the gym 2 years ago. Let's talk about that. Nobody pulling that
you're
up.
talking about the Shannon Sharp accuser?
Yes.
No, she's not 19. She's 21, 22 now. She was 19 when they met.
Same. Well,
let me
was
double
still
check.
a teenager when they met.
Yeah, she was 19, but she was of legal age. At 19, that is legal.
Yeah, it might be legal, but it definitely wasn't moral since he was what? I think he was like 55.
But well, I ain't got nothing to say about that on both parties because Shannon, he old enough to be her granddad, and the girl, she was seeing Shannon as a lick.
Oh yeah.
Yep,
Yeah, I mean,
and Shannon was seeing her as in control.
Oh, we're gonna get you some Robitussin. We can't have that.
I'm sorry.
Okay, here we go, guys. I'm gonna play this clip. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can get the clip a little bit bigger. There we go.
You don't expect to have people of his caliber associated with this type of issue, for sure.
It happens all the time in our community, but I'll keep it going for a second. Here we go.
And I think that's what was, while everybody was taking a step back. And this is a perfect case of facts versus political. And everything I say is my honest opinion. Yeah. This is not me taking sides or me insinuating that somebody's guilty or innocent by any stretch.
I mean, really, quite honestly, both of these guys. Why seeking knowledge in the house? Minerva's World is in the house. The funny thing it is for me is to see two guys who are being heavily ridiculed, judging one another. That's the funny part. That's the comedy to me.
I hope everything works out. But just the person who Shannon Sharp is a person who I hold in high regard. Correct. As a person that is like, he's on to everybody.
Told you, he's Unc. He's a leader to everybody. But if you go to all the leaders, I'm going to put it like this because somebody brought up a good point that Denzel Washington is a good leader, but he's not a popular leader. He's popular in certain circles, but he's not popular like these he's definitely not popular in the Red Pill community because they never talk about him. They talk about Cam Newton. They talk about Kevin Samuels. They talk about,
Andrew
They
Tate.
talk
Charleston
about the
White.
men who's in their 50s and 60s. I don't want to see myself being at that age. Let's just say that.
Yep.
It's not a joking matter. More so to say, like, hold on.
Toys, do you think a lot of the red pill men, the red pill, are jealous of the good black men who don't participate in that?
Very well known African Americans. He was part of the Deshaun Watson case. He was also a part of, the Diddy lawsuit. He was also a part of the case of Jay-Z.
So what is his point? What is Cam's point supposed to be? Like Diddy is innocent? I mean, don't get me wrong. Tony Busby definitely has a pattern, but I mean, if we have to be in, he's not coming after me. You see what I'm saying? So he's obviously going after people who are not behaving.
These are, when I was on TikTok the other day, I said it's not always the pookies, it's the men who they consider good men. Those are the men that are moving like the pookies in the Ray race that they don't want to talk about.
True. Concrete Ghost, what do you think?
They're telling on themselves. Just straight off the bat, they're telling on themselves because these men that they're defending are the men who are displaying qualities that they have. So that's why they're defending them, because they don't want to come out and say, this is just like me. I mean, like, go back to Denzel. He's disciplined. He is respected. He's loyal to his wife, and he's deeply private. He's a grown man's man. He doesn't need clout or scandal or attention to validate himself. And that quiet greatness, that's the kind of thing that intimidates loud, insecure men who want respect but haven't earned it.
Well said. Darnell, what do you think?
It's kind of tough to say. Like, to be honest with you, especially, I mean, discounting celebrities, but just talking about the manosphere, the red pill leaders and such. I don't care who you point to, but every single one of them has some kind of skeleton in his closet, they got something going on to where they're not who they say they are. I.e., look at Fresh, part of the Fresh and Fit. Talking about, I'm a high value man, yet he's paying escorts. Got one of them allegedly pregnant.
Oh,
yeah. What's it? The No Fugazi guy. Oh yeah, I'm a high value. Don't date single moms yet, and he's with a single mom. Which in my opinion, what he was.
And get her some more children.
In my opinion, that was code word for don't date black women. That's what I think that was. But that's my opinion. It's okay if she's a white woman, then that's okay to date a single mom if she's white. But let's call a spade a spade. It was code word for don't date black women. And
these guys on TikTok get on my nerves when they join these panels. And one thing that bugs me more is the black women that agree with them. Those are the same black women other black women say were pygmy mothers. There was one on TikTok the other day. She was talking about, she was calling out she was saying it's something about weaves, makeup, BBLs, and all that. And she was older. It's good to point out the bad in females, but she was saying it's just a female. No, it ain't. It's both. In most cases, it's the men, mostly the man.
Yeah. Those are those are grifters. The females that, well, not all of them, but I would say at least 9 out of 10 of them are of those women that are taking up manosphere talking points. They're just they're grifters. They're just
those are what we consider professional pick-me's.
I wouldn't even call them pick-me's. I just think they're in it for the money. I mean, you got to remember, this manosphere content, like Fresh and Fit at their height. I mean, they were making like 10 to 20 grand an episode just in super chats.
Angela
10 to
Reddick
20
brings
grand.
up a good point. She says Shannon can be the world's worst great pissed. And these dudes will admire him because he is a good bro to them.
And those are the same ones those men try to push on black women saying, oh, he's a good black man. Bullshit.
Because they don't want wisdom. These dudes do not want wisdom. They want validation. So they flock to loud, aggressive, deeply flawed dudes who reflect their bitterness, entitlement, and resentment, especially towards women, black women
And the
especially.
thing is, those men, they don't want to date the women that have their mindset. They don't want to date the women like them because those are the ones they're complaining about. But 9 times out of 10, those women act just those are the female versions of those dudes.
Yeah, because they don't want good men as role models. Not really. They just want permission for them to stay angry.
And
Right.
they want those are the same men they talk about they want a good black woman. When they get those good black women they talk about they do them dirty.
All right, let me play a little bit more of this clip. Here we go.
So what we know as facts has shown itself and constantly showing itself. And I think when you take a step and kind of have your own observation, what doesn't look good, there's multiple things that does not look good. The obvious is the age difference. And I'm not insinuating anything. This is still my honest, this is my opinion that I have. Right, wrong, and different. And this is not me saying like I'm taking the side of, because we don't ascribe to anybody in a sexual assault case, right? It's just unfortunate that these individuals have to go through this publicly. And I look at it and will say this to anybody, no matter who you are. No matter what you got going on, popping, not popping, successful, unsuccessful, just be careful.
That's actually the best advice I've heard come out of Cam's mouth in a very long time. That really is. I mean, that's about as that's the best advice I've had. I mean, that's probably one of the most. It's not even profound because it's just common sense, but it's profound in the context of the way these red pill dudes think. They don't like to be careful. They like to be in trouble. They like to get in worse trouble. I didn't play those jailhouse clips for fun and follies. I played them because that's what happens when you are not careful.
Well,
And,
but oh, I'm sorry, DJ Torch.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I have to disagree with you. Like, if you look at what's the very first thing that happens when these red pill guys get in trouble, it's the Matrix. It's this conspiracy. They're trying to silence me. They're trying to,
Right.
look at Andrew Tate. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, man. That guy is probably losing sleep. Yeah, first you got the Romanian government. Whatever's going on there. The UK want to try them after the Romanians are done, and now the U.S. Attorney General is looking into charging them.
Yeah. He's going
So
everywhere.
yeah. So that's why I'm saying I got to disagree with you that they like getting in trouble. I mean,
No,
can you imagine all the money and legal fees?
People can like getting in trouble. It's not that they don't like getting in trouble, Darnell. They like getting in trouble. They just don't like to. They don't like the accountability aspect of it. That they
I
are
agree with
going to
that.
be held accountable for it. They still want to. I mean, they still want to mess up. What should I say? Run amok. They just don't want to. They just don't want to be punished for it.
Mm-hmm.
If
Well,
you can go
DJ.
through life being reckless, why should you change? They never had to grow up, and when it blows up in their face, they cry "set up" instead of owning their part in the
And
fallout.
then the crazy part is these men be wanting women to feel sorry for them when shit hits the fan. And it ain't happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see what else I got here.
But I mean, if they keep making the same mistakes because they think that money will make them immune to the issue, the truth will always show up. And when it does not care how rich you are or how much clout you got. You have to pay the piper, especially if you're a black man, because society wasn't made to cater to the whims of black men.
Right. I mean, I agree with a lot of these men that society is harder on black men, but at the same time, why fall into the punch? Why walk into the punch? You
Because we
know
know
it's
what's going to
there,
happen. Yeah.
Hmm.
We know how the story ends.
Yep.
and they still do it. Here's another mix. Here we go.
You knew that this was strict compliance with 2 open DWI. You're sorry goes in this year and it goes that out there. Because I know you will continue to act the way you're going to act. I know how serious this is. I know that's why I tried to contact. Sorry, Judge. Okay, this was. And, in a way, I think of myself like a father of everyone. Because I like to teach, right? And I want to impart.
So this man, this black man here he doesn't expect to be there, but he's there. I don't think he's there because he got tricked into whatever crime it was. It was that he thought he could get away with it.
Always think of consequences. We all make mistakes. We all do things that we regret. Crap, my mouth gets me in so much trouble, you can't even believe it. And it's okay. There's nothing wrong. You need more time for work, whatever. Don't ask for forgiveness after the fact. Just come back here first.
Let me pause it. Okay. Yeah. So what are your thoughts about the clip, y'all?
That judge is one of our locals. He's out of Houston, Harris County. He's probably one of the best judges you can get in front of that's going to be lenient. I mean, he understands systematic racism and he acts in such a way. Because of that, he's mostly hated. But a lot of these men that go before for him, that face accountability, eh, they they they're mad because accountability feels like they're being attacked when they never had to face up to it before. So
Right.
when a man never has to answer for his behavior, being called out feels like being disrespected, not correction. And when the world already judges you harshly, it's easy to mistake accountability for condemnation.
Well said. Well said. So you guys remember Corey SSG? He's another YouTube star. Well, he got himself into a little bit of trouble. So let's break it down with legal.com. Favorite paralegal. Okay, here we go.
What's going on in the county. So on the night, he actually had to appear in court, but they actually waived it, set it to April 25th. Actually, to the 28th, I'm sorry. Set it to the 28th. On the 25th of April, they actually formed a formal indictment. And here we have the aggravated kidnapping, and this is both for the young ladies that alleged that they were kidnapped by Corey back in November of 2024. And so here it states that in the name and the authority of the state of Texas, that the defendant, Corey Pritchard Jr., heretofore on or about November 24, 2024, did then and there unlawfully, intentionally, and knowingly abduct Sydney, and the other young lady's name is Ava, and it states that he abducted them without their consent with the intent to prevent them liberation by
Let me pause that right there. I need to make sure everybody's up to speed on what's going on here. Basically, Corey SSG was, believe it or not, this is going to sound ironic and funny to you guys, but was his claim to fame was being married. That was his claim to fame. Him and his wife were married, or former wife now, were married, and basically he became abusive or whatever, and then started acting up. And so he made all his money. He made a lot of money off online, on social media, a lot from being married, living the married life, promoting it and everything. And now he's basically being he's in court over kidnapping and gun charges. And then he skipped out on court. Don't know what to say, folks. Walking into punches. What y'all think?
That's just stupid. I mean, not showing up for court. I mean, hey,
it's serious. Kidnapping is like, that could be 50 years right there. Shoot. But yeah, Corey Preacher. This is
and holding both of those ladies in place where pretty much they were not likely to be found, and used and threatening to use deadly force, namely a firearm on both of those young ladies. And during the commission of said offense, the defendant used and exhibited a deadly weapon, namely a firearm. So this was an actual formal indictment. They found enough evidence to come to this conclusion. This is a felony charge. So right now he is facing 2 felony kidnapping charges. Both of these are in the second degree, I believe, in the second degree.
Wow, that's just crazy. Here we go.
I don't know what to even say about this. I haven't followed celebrities in such a long time. I've been taking a break. But I did go on Corey's page, and he always talking about something big is going to happen, something big is going to happen. What's big about this? The only thing that happened when he went to the court on the 28th is that they reset it to June 26th. So he has to appear at 8:30 a.m. on June 26th. That's it. That's all. There was nothing big that happened. More than likely, his attorney. Well, I don't know if he has an attorney. I think he has an attorney, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't tell you that. So he does have an attorney. They just got to go over evidence that's presented, any witness statements, interviews by the witnesses and the victims in this case. And, I'm pretty sure that they're going to offer some pleas if he takes that. But right now, this is not looking good. The only thing I can say here is that he is just waiting to see what they are going to offer him. So nothing big is happening on this. So I don't even know what he's talking about at this time. So let's scroll right over to the divorce, y'all.
All right. First of all, shout out to Why Seeking Knowledge. So it's good to be, to me, it's a good sign you are out and healthy from your medical situation and recovering. I am very glad to hear that. And I think everybody up on this panel is as well. Here we go.
So the divorce was filed by Carmen back in January. If y'all been with me.
Okay, Carmen was his wife.
Claimed that he filed divorce in Alabama, but he didn't do anything with that. And it's only so long that divorce will remain active in the court system before they.
So he filed, but he didn't do anything else after that.
That's number one. Carmen filed in January. She issued a temporary restraining order on March 11th.
Oh wow! That means that he was in the hands and feet club. Everybody, that's what that means. TPO, that means you got to go. Tanya Sweat in the house. Here we go.
Third, with this, they had a temporary orders hearing that was on, and I know this is small, so y'all can't read it. So the initial was on March 24th, 2025, and then I think they went ahead and changed it, and then they had another hearing that he was supposed to be present. So anytime.
And he missed another one. Why do we dig a deeper hole? That's the problem. We keep digging a deeper hole.
I think a lot of it is mental illness, though. I mean, we see signs of it as women, and sometimes we just choose to ignore it. But these men, I mean, a lot of them have delusions and obsessions and detachment from reality. And but I mean, mental illness alone doesn't cause kidnapping, but it becomes a factor when you combine it with instability and
Yeah.
obsession and isolation and all that other stuff.
Well said. Now, everybody's favorite doctor. Here we go. Yes, I might be joking a little bit, but here we go. Okay.
How you feel about Shannon Sharp and him getting sued for $50 million by a white girl, a 19-year-old white girl?
It's interesting, Art, because last week I was at FDMG Academy doing some walkthroughs with some potential floor contractors because we still have to get the floors covered up. The concrete, where we remove the rugs, that has to be covered up with tile. And so I'm in Wilmington, Delaware, outside of the school, and all of a sudden, our phones start going off. I don't know if this was Monday or Tuesday, because Tony Busby, the attorney representing the alleged victim, Gabriella Zuniga, or should we call her Gabriella, I love to see ninjas, but that case was entered into court Sunday, a week from yesterday. And so I think I was at the school on Monday, it must have been hard, Monday or Tuesday. And so my phone is going off, and I'm getting all these texts. Shannon Sharp has been snow bunny. Shannon Sharp has been snow bunny. Dr. Umar, shit.
They knew that already. Half of the, you want to hear the funny part? Half of those dudes that probably text them do the same thing as Shannon.
Shannon is being accused of the unthinkable. And it bothered me because, as you know, me and Shannon Sharp have had some back and forths over the internet, never directly, but obviously he's speaking to him and him speaking to me about, you know, his position that he don't date black women and that he prefers Caucasian. And of course, being who I am, respecting all women, no matter what the color, but I believe.
But calls them snow bunnies anyway.
Black men need to be with black women. And given the fact that Sean Puffy Combs finds himself in a situation he's in, and R. Kelly finds himself in a situation he's in, and Bill Cosby finds himself in a situation he's in.
Last I checked, wasn't R. Kelly, wasn't it at least a woman of color that amongst other black women? No, it was, see, he's trying to make it. Do you see how he is trying to defend these men who obviously did some horrible things? That's the funny part. And see, this is the accountability issue. Instead of Dr. Umar telling black men to do better or to don't even get close to being in a situation where you can be, judged or whatever, or put in front of a judge, instead of telling black men that, he's into defending black men that obviously did some raw shit. That's the funny part to me. What do you guys think?
I really think Shannon thought he was untouchable. I mean, when when men get a little power, they think they can manage any situation and control the narrative. And they've already started with him. I mean, they started pushing her OnlyFans and trying to say she's a certain kind of worker, or they try to buy silence of the victims, or they
Mhm.
just try to escape the consequences. I mean, I even heard that he offered this chick cosmetic surgery like it's a reward. Like if she could lose weight, he would buy her plastic breast,
Dang.
boob job. And I
Lose
mean,
lose weight. I mean, have you seen
she's
her
already
photos?
skinny. Yes, that's the
Yeah.
thing. She's already tiny. But that was part of the conversation that's been released. And I mean, if that's not a display of this man's confidence, it's really arrogance. And he just thought he had the black card where he could get away with it and he was untouchable. That's all that is.
I'll agree. There's definitely some arrogance, about Shannon Sharp. I mean, for sure. I mean, there's no disputing that. But the only problem is that as far as the information about her being an S worker, uh, that is going to come into play in court. And then the text messages. So even though her complaint is, okay, well, he chokes me, but you writing text messages to him, choke me, daddy, and I want to have your black baby. I mean,
But see,
you
that's kind
know,
of a man's perspective, because just because she does a certain kind of work doesn't mean she
mhm.
can't say no at any point in time.
but here's the problem. You
Just because
can't
it's her
say
job, yes, she can say no, I don't want to do this anymore. She can absolutely say it in the middle of them
yes.
doing actually something she's being paid for. Absolutely.
Well, I
No, but
mean, I
I
do agree
I'm not
that
got a
yes, a
point.
woman has the right to withdraw consent, at any time. That's true, but the
Even
you
if
know the
she's getting
don't.
paid for it, even if she is getting paid for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, that we're talking about an illegal act there. You're
Yes.
not supposed to, uh, even though it happens, but yeah, that's something different. But I'm just saying from a standpoint of you can't
Okay.
say
So wait.
he's.
Hold on 1 second. So are you saying that because she's an S worker, that the line between her being SULE essayed is thinner than somebody who isn't?
No, what I'm saying, the problem is the text messages. That's her line of her profession aside. Um, the text
Okay, so let me ask you
messages.
this. So basically, because of the text message, you're saying that just like automatically lowers the level of probability that she was essayed.
Yes.
Okay.
And you got to remember in the court,
So basically when she said use a condom and he said hell no and didn't use a condom, that's not a problem.
no, that part is an issue. That part is a problem.
So then basically if she says use a condom and he doesn't,
Hmm.
and I mean it sounds like to me that's not supposed to be an option. It's supposed to be you use one, damn it, or no. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That was a conditional no, because it's like she told them what to do for them to do what they're going to do, right? And he said no and went ahead and did it anyway, placing her under force. Therefore, that has to be seen as SA, because yeah, she might have she had conditions for an agreement to go in. She had a condition to be consensual. Do you see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And he didn't meet that condition. He didn't meet it. And just because she might have been doing this with different people before, at that given time, flag on the play. You see what I'm saying?
That's the problem with a lot of the men, the way they think. They think consent is only for the quote good girls. And it's a toxic ideal that if she sells her body in some sort of way, she must always be down. But they erase the woman's right to say no as if her job erased her humanity. But consent is moment to moment. It doesn't vanish with a job title. And too many men use that type of work as an excuse for violence. Some men think, oh, she's already doing this. What difference does it make? That's total predatory thinking, pure and simple. It turns the job into a license for abuse, as if boundaries don't exist at all for these women who decide to go in that line of work.
Let's play a little bit more. Here we go.
And of course, Sean Carter freed himself from false allegations that Tony Busby had lodged against him. You would think that in the aftermath of all of these sex assault cases,
It's not necessarily false allegations, but the allegations weren't strong enough to go forward with the case. That's what happened. Either that or they're changing venue. It could be a million things. But it wasn't going to work because the woman that was assaulted in Jay-Z's situation was a little bit autistic. So, yeah, that. So that just she doesn't make a good witness regardless because of her condition that she was born with. So that's the problem there. Busby's mistake was lodging the case, not vetting her well enough. It wasn't there. We cannot say whether it did or didn't happen with Jay-Z, but what we do know is that this case was going to be a difficult one for any kind of prosecutor because of the condition of their witness and victim. That unfortunately that condition does not help prove a case forward. It would have been another witness there or something like that.
cases that's going on that Shannon Sharp or any black male celebrity for that matter will conduct themselves in a more responsible manner. So I'm not here to beat a man when he's down, obviously, because as I've made it clear on social media.
Remember now, he just went through his own thing with his daughter.
Okay, to the disappointment of me, I stand with Shannon Sharp. And I stand with Shannon Sharp for one reason and one reason only. And that is because what he did in having a relationship with a 19-year-old snow bunny is not illegal. And so dealing with the American court system, morals has no place in it.
Oh, now he wants to bring up first he wants to say the American court system is bad and targets black men. Then all of a sudden he's saying, but the moral part of it, the American court system is not about morals, so he can go out there and date 19-year-olds when he's 56 or whatever. So instead of Umar's message to me tells me that he's a bandit too, and I'll tell you why. Because he would have better. He's an educated man. He's got a doctorate or whatever. At least that's what they say. He knows how to delineate between bad morals that are bad for the black male community at all, which is being damn near 60, dating a 19-year-old, and literally using her as basically an S doll. That's it. It's not like he's enriching. It wasn't like Shannon Sharp was enriching her life in a positive manner, because they wouldn't have involved in they wouldn't be doing BDSM, which may have been something that happened to her beforehand, that she instead of being a positive influence, Shannon Sharp could have been a positive influence in that young lady's life, but he chose not to. In fact, he went down and made it even dirtier. Okay. That's the problem with the age gap, is that if you're going to make somebody's life worse, then that really amplifies the age gap issue, in my opinion. And that's what he did, to the point where this young lady's trying, whether it's justified or not, she's trying to get that money now. So he did it. My feeling about Shannon Sharpe is he did it to himself. He's too freaking old to let a 19-year-old person put him in this position. He put himself in this position. And what makes me kind of upset and actually angry is the fact of the matter is that he's trying to really come out as a victim in this instead of saying instead of saying that was bad. I shouldn't be. He could have said it in a way that did not incriminate him. Like, look, young fellas, there ain't nothing about there ain't no 30-year-old Wall. I was wrong for dating, blah, 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 blah. Because otherwise, think about it. If the Wall, really the adequate age really for intimacy, you're thinking is probably at least 21. So they're thinking, these men are trying to sell us on the gig that between 21 and 19, 21 and 30 is the prime years of a woman, which is barely 9 years. That's what they're trying to sell this bullshit as. And only somebody who thinks in a sexual frame or context would think that. Because really, quite honestly, these men are prioritizing sex. That's the point. And that's the problem. They're prioritizing sex over all the other wonderful things in life. All this other stuff in life, one of the most basic things people can do.
That's because they see themselves in him. So like men like Umar, when they rush to defend Shannon, has nothing to do with justice, not even remotely. It's about protecting their own reflection. They see a powerful black man being held accountable and they panic because they've benefited from the same silence, the same power, and the same unchecked ego. And because they're more loyal to the image than integrity, Shannon Sharpe is their representation of Black excellence, the money, the status. He used to have muscles. I don't know what he looked like under the suit, but he's definitely still famous. And so when that image cracks, they rather protect the fantasy than confront the facts. They confuse criticism with betrayal and ignore the harm to women. They're not seeing women as people deserving of respect and be put on the same playing field as men. Accountability equals an attack to them.
Bars. Darnell, your thoughts?
Well, I definitely got to say, it's kind of strange to see Umar Johnson defending Shannon Sharpe, because he, especially when he criticizes or he tells black men don't date white women and Latina women, Asian women, etc. Black queens forever, he says. And here he is defending Shannon Sharpe. Now, as far as Shannon Sharpe, I'm going to say this is that, yeah, the man is just the poster child of stupid at this point. You're with a 19-year-old OnlyFans model. Okay. This chick has, if you're doing OnlyFans, more than likely, she has no real money. You're making millions of dollars. And there's an old saying, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Well, guess what? When you cheated on her and that, and it looks like, there's another woman in the picture. Well, guess what? That's going to create some issues. And with Shannon Sharpe, if that's what you want to do, you got to be smart. You got to make her sign an NDA. Okay, here are the terms of our relationship. You make her sign an NDA. You pay her out the door. Michael Jordan, believe it or not, Michael Jordan was one of those black men, believe it or not, that he used to cheat on his wife all the time, but you never hear about it. He was smart. He always had guys that found him women, made them sign NDAs, And you never heard, not once, not one woman complain about Michael Jordan.
Which is sad to in some ways, because it just shows you that really, if our black leaders are cheating on their wives or other people or getting in trouble like this, then who do we have left?
Well, but see, DJ Torch, that's just it. Men of power, of influence, or wealth, for centuries, even millennia, have had concubines or side
Let me ask you
pieces,
this,
whatever
Donna.
you want to
Are you
call
saying
them.
that it's okay for them to have that relationship if the woman doesn't want that?
If the woman doesn't want that, then it's her right to, especially today, to hey, this
Okay,
isn't
but
working for
usually
me.
when people get
To leave.
well, let's define marriage, because these men were married though.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Tiffany Jackson in the house. Good seeing you. I'm just kind of chewing on this because I thought the point of marriage is that it's between two people, and not two people and a side chick, if you know what I mean. So, I mean, I understand
Yes, I know what
what
you
you're
mean.
saying, but these guys are powerful and big and everything. But what's the point? I mean, what's the point of being married to a big, powerful guy? The only thing advantage you have is money, but you're supposed to get married for love, right?
Well, not necessarily. Marriage, the original context of marriage, and I think we touched on this about a couple weeks ago on another one of your lives. But the original concept of marriage was actually to join houses and to build wealth. I have a son, you have a daughter.
From, like back in the day in the 50s and stuff. But today's is different, where I'm pretty sure that Michael Jordan's wife probably is extremely proficient at making money on her own. I'm not sure exactly what she does, but
she divorced. They got divorced years ago.
And probably because he was cheating, right?
She got hers.
More than likely. Oh yeah, she got paid. She got paid,
hey,
DJ.
I mean, it just goes to show you that it's like, maybe that's the concern I have most of all. It's like, how are we as black men supposed to have a good image in society when we're not trying to, do better as even husbands?
Well, but see, DJ Chorster, the problem is you're looking at it through the lens of as though it's only black men. Unfortunately, again, regardless of race,
Okay, so let me ask you this.
it doesn't matter. I mean, just look at the presidents we've had. Donald Trump.
Yeah, Trump is a good retort. Trump, I understand that point, but what I'm saying is that we shouldn't be focusing on. I mean, like, let me ask you this: are we more loyal to our women than other races of men? Yes or no?
No. I think loyalty is only, there's no such thing as true loyalty. You're only as loyal as your options.
Basically, and by design, I guess you could say, by numerical design, it appears that black men, we have no reason to be loyal because our women outnumber us. Would that be a strong argument?
It's not necessarily. That's a portion of it. Another portion is what do women look for in a man, and when all the women are looking for the same, for the most part, the same thing, and you're talking that's the upper tiers of men.
There. Let's get a woman's view on what women are looking for. Concrete Ghost, please break it down for us.
It depends on the individual. I think, like I said before, men have never been made to be accountable for their actions. So they keep acting in this way. They know how the story ends, but they still take the risk. And I mean, these men mistake dominance for value. I mean, they think that putting a black woman down somehow lift them up. Yes, we do have black men who get with black women. We have some men who take that marriage as them being in charge and not a partnership. But when they feel powerless, they reach out for who they think they can control. So they go outside of their marriage. They don't care about that they have a wife and that they have a marriage they need to protect. I think it is the internalization of anti-blackness. I mean, there are good black men out there. I have good black men in my family, but I also see it in my family that these men believe that proximity to whiteness or submission equals greater worth. Black women throughout the ages have been strong and they've been holding down the family. They've been putting food on the table. And when their man run out on them, they're taking care of the kids. They're getting jobs. They're making ends meet whatever way possible that they need to make it happen. And men have never been made accountable because even if they get married, they can walk out on that. Maybe they never get married. It's simple, just walk out the door. They're not being made accountable for fulfilling their end of the promise of being a good mate and a good man. That's why so many marriages end and women are still holding it down. But as we get access to better paying jobs and better paying education and better housing and better opportunities for our kids, men are starting to say, well, they just too masculine. They think they're better than us. They think they don't need us. Women are proving that they don't need you, but they still want you, and you're still not acting accordingly to fill that spot they have for you. If a woman wants you, she's trying to look deeper into the character, into the possibility, into the potential of this man. A lot of women don't need a man, but they still want the man, and the man is just playing the fool, thinking he can get away and do whatever he wants and not be held accountable for being a good man.
Bars.
Laws have no place in American law. If it did, we would have never been enslaved. So in a court of law, it's about whether you broke the law. It's not about whether what you did was right or wrong. And so I'm standing with Shannon Sharp because I don't want to see his life destroyed like Puff, like Kelly, like they tried to do to Carter, like they've done to Cosby.
Notice how some of these men we know should have gone to prison. That's the funny part.
Some of these men should have went under the prison.
I'm sorry, say again.
Some of those men should have went under the prison.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, come on. I mean, and he's trying to make it sound, and this is the problem we have. I don't have a problem with his example of saying that black men have been, unjustifiably judged in the court system or anything like that. That's an argument. But the fact that he's making his example of injustice through a man that we saw on video beat the crap out of Cassie and has a long list of victims. That is a very bad message. And to me, in a way, it's worse than even his fake school. It just is, because it's like, I mean, dude, at least grab some examples of men that were not dirty. Like maybe bring up Emmett Till. You can bring him back, bro. You like to bring up shit from the 40s and 50s. Use Emmett Till. Say that was a bad situation. Say, the Central Park 5, those guys were innocent. They shouldn't have gone. Use those guys. Don't use Diddy. If you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think Diddy's a poor example. There's just, I understand innocent until proven guilty, and Diddy has not been proven guilty yet. But I'm just going to be honest with you. I mean, there's just too much, evidence out there that
Right.
suggests wrongdoing.
That little change in their pockets because
Way
they
too
were
much.
men of power and influence, they're still being put up on a pedestal. But there are a lot of men out there who have been wrong. You mentioned Emmett Till. The one I've been seeing pop back up lately was Vincent Simmons. That man spent 44 years in prison accused of raping some 14-year-old girls. 44
Yeah.
years in prison, and he had witnesses that said he wasn't there. They even examined the girls and hid that evidence. They examined the girls. There was nothing wrong with them. Nobody messed with them. Nobody touched them. And they had that evidence, and this man still spent 44 years in jail. He just got out like 2 years ago.
Dang.
That's somebody you can say, if
Right.
he was wrongly accused and this is what happened. But no, nobody's really talking. I would talk about that every day. That man lost 44 years of his life behind some BS.
And Umar's only,
Yeah.
and all Umar could bring up is two guys that look pretty guilty to us, which is Diddy and R. Kelly. I mean, that's pretty. When you see an image of the parents of the young girl that R. Kelly was assaulting, carry her out of that place. That's what concerns me about Umar. It's like, wait a minute, bro. The reason why I'm so hard on Umar is this. He has come off as being an intellectual, or he says he is, and he's has a doctorate. He knows the history. If anybody says they know the history of the black man and all the black man's injustices brought against black men, he should, right? He's Dr. Umar. But he brings up Diddy and he brings up R. Kelly. Okay, you're looking pretty bad to me because I'm giving him respect for his education. That's why, not because of anything else. He prides himself on education, right? But somehow he's picking two guys who look pretty guilty to us.
And I'll say this: the problem with using R. Kelly, he's been convicted. So I mean, at least with Diddy, he hasn't been convicted yet. But with R. Kelly, the man's been convicted. We all know he married Aaliyah when she was how old was she again? 14? 13, 14 years
really,
old.
quite honestly, Jay-Z could be in jail right now. I mean, okay, let's put it this way. They're saying there was something going on with what's her name? Who was the rapper he brought up? She was like 12 years when they started. But for I forgot her name, but that was back in the 90s. But anyway, yeah, so that's why Umar, in my opinion, he's got some issues. Because he, as educated as he should be telling us people out of the blue, if you know what I mean. Not people we know about, but he should be going, oh yeah, this person, like Concrete Ghost brought up somebody that was like out of the blue. It's like, oh, I didn't know that person was in. That would have been an amazing example. He could have been, to me, I don't mind him using this I don't mind Umar using this as a pedestal to fight Foxy Brown. Thank you, Minerva. She was 14 when Jay-Z was hooking up with her, as allegedly. But back to Umar. See, basically, Umar as being a historian, should have known better. He should know that. But see, he's not in for that. He's not trying to protect those men that are straight up innocent. He's not trying to protect those black men. He's trying and I think it's because of something that Concrete Ghost brought up earlier. I bet in his closet he's got some skeletons too. And that's what I think it is. I think that overpowered his association to doing things like Diddy did, or like R. Kelly did, or like Shannon Sharp did. That impact is stronger than him using his knowledge and historically bringing up men that were truly innocent.
I think we just need to give it time because the receipts will come out. UMAR defending Shannon just gives him cover. And if he can convince the world that Shannon is the victim, then they'll never have to answer for the women they've harmed or manipulated or used. Deflection is a survival tactic, it's not a moral stance.
Bars.
Because she was not legally a child, although too young for nearly all of us to feel comfortable with the man of his age dating her, it was not against the law for him to be with this 19-year-old. So what do we know about this situation? According
to me though, if you're an older man, like a lot older, like Shannon's age, dating a 19-year-old, I think the element of treatment should be scrutinized. What I mean is this, is that if the guy was, if Shannon was like 25, 28, that's not horrible. If you're 55, you better treat that little girl like she's a queen. Because it's clear that, number one, there's no reason you're with that person. You have no type of, what should I say? What is this? There's no reason. But I need to bring this out though, because Kevin Samuels was doing the same damn thing. The women he was dating were just a little bit older than this girl was. Nobody really thought about it. And it's probably one of the reasons why he ended up passing so early, because he was so busy popping those blue pills.
It's about control. But it's like, men, if your manhood depends on her silence, you were never a man to begin with. It's always about control.
He met Shannon Sharp at a gym in Los Angeles approximately 2 years ago, 2023. Now, Shannon alleges that he tried to present her with an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, which every celebrity.
I'm going to tell you how effed up that is. This is a teenager. And you're trying to present to a teenager who, I don't know what she was doing before. She's obviously not a rocket scientist. She's obviously not a lawyer. She obviously can't afford a lawyer. But you're trying to present to somebody, and this is why the age gap theory comes into play. This is why right here. Because no one expects a 19-year-old to know enough to protect themselves, just like a young lady who's underage. The only way but since they put 19-year-olds up on the grill to be cooked, and then say 21 or something, the fact of the matter is the only offset is date within your age range. Otherwise, it's going to look like you're controlling, be it legally or not. He had that a 19-year-old woman or man ain't gonna know what the hell what the hell an NDA is. Well, did you mean NBA? You know what I mean? So
I'm gonna give her a little credit, because I did hear that he tried to get her to sign one and she said no, and he still proceeded on anyway after she said no.
Yep.
And she also, when he allegedly offered her 10 million, I want some
See, the
more.
thing is with this,
So
if her goal,
she's not dumb.
let me say this. If her goal is really to bring it, making it, what is it? Oh, come on, James, you can figure it out. Me Too Part 2, if that's her goal, by all means, I respect her for that. I truly do. But if she's just trying to get more money, she, to me, in my opinion, passed up a huge opportunity, because $10 million, that's a whole lot of money. You know, if you go into court in a situation that she has, and the amount of money that he has, she did get what's his name, who can might be able to work some out, but that 10 mil, it sounds like a pretty decent, and I think it would have made the message like, don't mess with women. I mean, that's our goal, right? Is that there's a punitive damage enough that the whatever that man was doing, it is sent out to the United States of America and the world that if you want to mess around and do that crime to a woman, then you better have $10 million in your pocket.
I think she wants money, but I also think she really wants to make him suffer, because the story goes that she believed that she was in an exclusive relationship with him, and then the Michelle tapes. So hell has no fury like a woman scorned. I think she do want money. They have evidence of her asking for money, and he's like saying no, he doesn't do like wire transfer and digital cash transfer. He would just bring her cash. I've heard that reported in some of the back and forth checks that they've been showing. So yeah, she was getting money, but I think she really wanted to hurt him too. And I don't care if that was her number one plan all along. Shannon Sharp knew how this story would end. Men before him have gone down the same path, the same bad ending, the same ending to the story. He knows how it's going to go. He had the ABCs laid out in front of him, and he still decided to do it. I don't really care if she's a S worker or a
Right.
gold digger. She could even be a Girl Scout. But he's a grown ass man chasing a 19-year-old. He's responsible for the position he put himself in. And you don't get to cry set up after you set up the scene. You had the power, you had the money, you had the age and the platform, and he still chose recklessness over wisdom. Stop blaming her for the hustle and start checking his judgment. He's not the victim, he's the architect of his own demise.
Yeah, he's definitely the architect of his own demise, as you put it. That's well said. The only thing is, I do believe in this case that he is being extorted. There's just no doubt in my mind.
He wouldn't be. Okay, let's put it like this. How is he being extorted for putting himself in this position? Because I will say this much. Okay, she's 19, so she's 1 year, maybe 2 years over the illegal age wherever she was, right? The fact that we have to discuss that part of it is already a red flag. Should have been a red flag to him in the first place. Okay. If he dated a woman in her 40s, right? Well over the proverbial wall, she is still, that 40-year-old woman is still 15 years younger than he is. Okay, you have to check out the impact of this. That little girl, and then she was a little girl, whether she was, just because she had a lot of partners doesn't change that. That little girl doesn't know the F about an NDA. So an NDA, the fact that you have to bring up an NDA even to a grown woman is already a red flag for that situation. The goal for black men should be this: don't put yourself in a situation where you have to worry. And that's I'm talking about if you have to worry about either consorting with a person because of their age or race or something like that, or if you have to worry about your actions falling against you and you ending up in jail, then avoid those situations. It's that simple.
I agree, but DJ Torch, when I was 19, I signed a contract to buy a car. You know, at 12% interest with no money down. You can imagine how and I was 19. You know, the law, or well, not the law, but the thing is that hey, I was a legal adult. The bank, in fact, banks, they love young guys, right, or gals. Yeah.
Okay, so
young people.
Okay, you're comparing an auto loan that you got at 19, which actually that's not a horrible rate. Well, it depends, but yeah,
12%. That's a credit.
Back
That's almost a credit
then.
card.
But my question, I mean, it's a bad comparison of auto rate to the relationship. But my question is, did this on your own? Was your father in your life? Was he involved with you with this purchase?
No, I got out of basic training and did what they told you not to do. Go buy a car. And I went to the dealership, especially they love young military men that
Isn't that
fresh
my
out
point?
of boot
That's
camp.
the point right there.
You said you nailed it. You nailed it, Darnell, because you said you did what they told you not to do, right? Boom.
Correct.
Boom. That's all.
But the problem is though is like I couldn't go back when I realized the mistake that I had made. I couldn't go back and say, hey, I'm suing you guys. You guys took advantage of me. I was 19. I was
Maybe
a
you didn't
kid.
have the
You
exposure that
can't.
you needed to the situation, but think of like this: when you were little, and maybe somebody had a gas stove, somebody said, "Hey, that's hot, don't touch it," and you might have touched it. And then maybe you go camping and you see a
Yep.
campfire, and they say, "Hey, that's fire out there, don't touch it," and you touch it. So fire is hot and it will burn you because you have experienced it for yourself, and people have told you this for yourself. So as a experienced, wise black man, Shannon Sharp knew the fire was hot, but he saw a burning house, a beautiful burning house, and he decided, oh, that's a lovely house that's on fire. I think I will walk my dumb ass right into this house that I know is going to burn me. He knows fire is hot, and he decided to still walk into a burning house. He had the experience. It
Oh
is
yeah. Well, you remember that woman, Corrine Steffens? She had a nickname, Super. You know what? Yeah, I mean, it's like sometimes men we just think with the little head too much. I mean, I remember Corrine Steffens used to give interviews about what she did in bed with all these rappers. Used to name them all, and guess what? It didn't stop those guys from. It didn't stop the next guy from coming in and then talk about him.
That's my point. What I'm saying, that you just nailed it, Darnell. What my point is, especially for this live stream, is that it seems like we've made in a culture a practice of risk. Do you see what I'm saying? Just like when you got that risky auto loan, right? We as men have made relationships risk, just like the passport bros flying out to literal war zones, by the way, at least for gang war zones, right? For risk. It seems like there's something about us that we are not comfortable being comfortable. We are not comfortable being safe. We are not comfortable making conservative decisions. And I don't mean political. I mean saying, you know something, I'm supposed to be at work at 8, so I'll get on the road at 7 and not 7:30 when I know I'm going to be 15 minutes late. You see what I'm saying? We have made it. This is the
That's a
core
good one.
concern and problem with us. Okay, and this is why women in our community have to take care of themselves, because we take too much risk. And that's why it's like I'm split on the whole judicial system thing, because it's like, well, why were you even there in a situation where you have to now answer to this in court? Why didn't you just stop?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the problem was that when Shannon started dating somebody 3 times younger than him, it's already going to look concerning whether he was being nice to her or not. And now it's coming out that he wasn't nice to her. So now he's already in more trouble. Now,
there's going to be more trouble. I'm just waiting for it. I got my popcorn. I got my tea. You want to know why men still move reckless even when the evidence is stacking up? Because they think they're smarter than the system. They think they're smarter than the receipts. They think they're smarter than the woman. They think they're smarter than the truth. They've been rewarded for bad behavior so long. They think that consequences are optional. It's not that they didn't see the risk. They just believe the rules didn't apply to them. It's not confidence, it's delusion. And when the fall comes, they always act surprised, like they didn't build the ledge themselves.
right. I think, and Darnell, I guess what it is that it's important for us to understand the impact of our decisions. Nobody forced Shannon to run around the gym, at least from what it was told, allegedly, that she like wasn't feeling him. He ran around the gym until she decided to want to go out with him. No, that should have been a sign right there that, hey, maybe I'm 55, maybe I shouldn't be, maybe she's giving me that I am too old to be dating her vibe. And
Well, to be honest with you, I'm sorry. Go
and
ahead.
I guess it's I guess my point is that why didn't he see the writing on the wall?
Because the question becomes, who is it going to be next year? It's going to happen again. Who is it going to be next year? We're going through all this and somebody is doing the same thing right now. And next year, we're going to be talking about them. We're going to be talking about them like a dog, because we've been through this with Shannon Sharp. We've been through this with other men before this. Who is it going to be next year and the year after that?
Well, I think after this one, I think he's cooked, because he just lost $100 million deal. So, I think he's cooked after this one. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong
and
too.
let me
sir.
camp on this for a minute. So during this, because to make $100 million deal, right? Putting that deal together could take years. Okay. So he's been with this woman whilst getting this huge opportunity, right? In an establishment that reputation is paramount, correct? Then
absolutely,
he was going to lose that deal anyway. Even if she didn't say, the fact that he was going to lose that deal. And I'll tell you why. Because if he's stupid enough to risk $100 million for mere pleasure and control, sooner or later, he's going to just lose it all. In my opinion.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, it's tough to say if he was, it's tough to say if he would have lost that deal or not had she not, filed her complaint in court.
Okay.
Because
Let me
even though
pause.
there's other
Pause for
accusers.
1 second. Let me pause you for 1 second.
Okay.
She could have complained. It's not like she just has, 1,000 people on her OnlyFans, right? She's got like 1 million, maybe 2, right? She's
okay. I don't know about her OnlyFans, but I did see her Instagram. She's got 500,000 followers on that alone.
Okay. So all she had needed to do is say, "Oh yeah, I date Shannon Sharpe and he treats me like crap." That blows up, right? Because he's Shannon Sharpe and he's, $100 million deal, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was going to go
you got
bad.
a point.
It was going to go bad anyway. What I'm saying is this: I don't think, quite honestly, I don't think she's going to get. She had her opportunity to get her money. I really, quite honest, I don't think she's going to get anything. She should, but she's not.
Yeah.
But he just lost $100 million because he wanted to be stupid. That's all I could say. I mean, what you're supposed to do when you're getting a better opportunity is you get even more conservative with your behavior. You see what I'm saying? You tighten the bolts. It's like, okay, well, I can't be seen. He should have been like, look, I can't be seen with you no more because it looks bad and I need this $100 million. You know what I mean? Oh, and he was lucky to even get that deal after that stupid stuff he did with the with that tape he made that he put on his Twitter.
Yeah, that was stupid.
See, he was destined to lose that money anyway, in my opinion.
He's moving recklessly, and all these red pill guys are out here supporting him, calling him the alpha. But I mean, he is just chaos in a designer suit. He's flashing cash, chasing barely legal girls, and he acts like clout makes him untouchable. But it's not dominance, it's desperation dressed in fake confidence. He's not building real power. He's leaving a trail of digital evidence. And that's not the leadership we need in a community. It's a countdown to his collapse. And when all the ish hit the fan, he's going to keep crying set up. But he is the author of that script.
Bars. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Darnell.
No, actually, you made a very valid point when you said you don't think she's going to get anything. Because at first I was going to disagree with you, but I kind of thought about it. You remember the Kobe Bryant situation when he got accused?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, 20 years ago, and it wasn't when Kobe started losing all his endorsement deals and things of that nature. I think McDonald's dropped him. Also, all his endorsements dropped him, and then obviously, now his situation was criminal. But one of the things I think was interesting is the accuser. She recanted, she didn't recant, but she quit cooperating with the prosecutors. In Kobe's situation, she quit cooperating with the prosecutors, and the prosecutors' case ended up falling apart.
Right.
Now she ended up getting a payday, after that. But in this case, Shannon, I think he's in the process of losing all the, as we speak, I think he's losing all his endorsements, things of that nature. The $100 million deal, we know that's gone. Yeah, I think you're right, DJ, that she's not going to see a cent. Well, I'm not going to say a cent, but it's going to be minimum, kind of like similar to what happened to OJ with the Goldman family. They never got the full judgment,
right,
that they were owed. because you
because
can't.
OJ really just didn't have it. They got something, but OJ he was blowing through that stuff. He was on his way out the way he was spending that money. He didn't have much to give.
Well, I mean, when you had the dream team, I mean, you know, those lawyers weren't cheap, you know.
Right.
And but the thing was, they couldn't touch his pension. So OJ wasn't actually broke. He just went to the court, said he was broke. But he had, because he was quoted as saying, you know, how, you know, when someone asked him, you know, how is it that, you're broke, and but how is it, you know, you're living in a nice house and this and that? And he said, I have a hefty pension. And what happens is they can't touch your pension in the judgment suit. Pensions are Social Security's off the table.
But he's still trying to steal back his old stuff from auctions and getting called and arrested again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Ms. RV brings up a good point. She says, I'm convinced that if they could go younger legally, they would. There are men fighting for the rights to be able to marry 13-year-olds, bars. And then Henry Mars says, yes, they would go for 13-year-old. Yep. And Miss RV is, shout out to Miss RV. She does excellent work. She has, she's excellent.
Yeah, I agree with Miss RV. Is if it was legal, I'll be honest with you. I think that a lot of men would be trying to get with 13. Well, not 13, but I say at least 14 or 15-year-old girls if it was legal.
Yeah,
I don't. I agree with her.
They have men who are openly chasing children, and because they want power. It's not about partnerships. These men aren't looking for love, they're looking for control. And underage girls are easier to manipulate, they're easier to impress, and they're a lot easier to dominate. They target youth because real maturity, real thought and consciousness and maturity intimidates them.
Bars. Yep. So, I mean, to me, it's like this. He lost $100 million for what? And the scary part, for some reason, was we need to dissect that. Not whether he's innocent or not. We need to dissect why he took such a risk. $100 million risk for whatever practice he was doing. Because again, I don't think it's going to matter to ESPN whether he is innocent or not.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think they already. Yeah, I mean, if they haven't officially canned him, well, I mean, he said he temporarily walked away, but yeah, he's done.
Yeah.
ESPN's owned by Disney.
Right. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
He should have been taking that young lady to a movie to watch a Disney movie. I mean, not doing that. All that. I mean, the thing is, especially the way that he was posed himself as a role model for younger Black men, right? You're supposed to be the one who does everything right. And that's probably part of the deal and the reason why ESPN wanted in on him, because, okay, you have this image of being a man of knowledge but humorous, funny at the same time. Well, you just devalued yourself by sleeping around, legal, illegal, whatever. Not, it doesn't matter. Sleeping around with somebody who's old enough to be your granddaughter.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem though, DJ Torch, is like you ever heard of man, what is that site? I think it's called Sugar Dating or SugarDaddy.com or something like that. Yeah, it's literally a website of 21-year-old girls looking for men in their 40s, 50s. I mean, they're not really looking for necessarily the age thing. It's really money, but let's face it. The type of men that they're looking for that has that kind of money are usually men in their 40s and 50s,
Right.
So the problem is that I don't think we can look at it as, hey, you shouldn't be, like this is rare or anything, because this is quite frequent, and from what I can see, young women prefer.
There is a percentage of younger women who prefer older men. I will agree with you with that.
I will actually agree with you too. Being a woman, I can firsthand testify to that.
But the situation that Shannon was in, where he had to convince this young lady to date him, when in fact, on top of the sugar, he could have went to sugar babies or whatever, or sugar daddy, whatever, right? And found somebody who was probably going to be more optimistic about the situation. Might have been more down with him. But the thing is this: it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Darnell, because he is supposed to be a role model. Those guys, those rich men on that sugar baby, sugar daddy thing, they ain't trying to be no role models. That was the point of Shannon Sharp's show, of being a role model, telling everybody what to do, and being a role model in sports, you don't have to have a squeaky clean past, but you need to have a squeaky clean present. And he couldn't even do that.
Not necessarily. I mean, former President Clinton, he was leader of the free world, and with a 22-year-old.
Keywords. I mean, former president. He wasn't president. He wasn't president of that.
No, he was president. He was president at the time that it happened.
Yeah, that was stupid. And I think he would tell you it was stupid.
It was very stupid, but he has the complexion for protection. Shannon Sharp, being a country bumpkin, dark-skinned black man, knows he doesn't have that same privilege. He knows this already, but he chose the filth and thought nobody would check him. He thought he was close enough to the proximity of whiteness that he'd be okay. So he chased that woman like a trophy, and then he mistook exploitation for excitement, offering her crazy stuff like surgeries and secrets. That's not game. That's grooming with a bank account. He wasn't seduced by her. He was entitled, he was sloppy, and he was bold enough to believe that his fame could outrun facts. This wasn't a scandal. It was a blueprint for his self-destruction, and he followed every line on that plan. At this point, we're talking in circles. This man knew what was going to happen, and he did it anyway.
Bars.
Yep.
Jackson says, DJ Torch, I think it was hubris on Shannon's part.
Exactly.
Let's go back to another bad example. Here we go.
To require from anyone they engage with. Well, guess what? He decides he's not going to sign the NDA. That right there was a warning to Shannon Sharp that this 19-year-old, who you shouldn't be dating anyway because of her age, because of her race, you need to end this. If she don't want to sign an NDA dating a celebrity, you know what that means. That means if this doesn't go.
Remember now, the fact that you're asking a 19-year-old to sign an NDA who doesn't even know what an NDA is, that's already a red flag right there.
He's going to exposure. Shannon Sharp should have ended it right there. The problem was he fit his type. Obviously, Uncle Shay, he likes Caucasian women, as we all know, and he likes them very skinny, which I didn't know. And the reason I'm saying that is the pictures that are floating around the internet from Gabrielle Asu Ninjas is pictures of a very petite Caucasian woman who, not being disrespectful when I say this, appears to be built like a 13, 14, 15-year-old child. She doesn't appear to be developed like a woman. She doesn't appear to be a woman who's in childbearing age. There's no curves on that body. There's no lumps on that body.
And according to her, allegedly, Shannon Sharp told her that if she would lose enough weight for him, he would buy her some artificial breasts. Now,
There it is. There it is.
very puzzling to me, Art, because she's already extra skinny, extra petite, no booty, no breasts, no nothing. Why would you want her to lose any more weight? So from that, we can gather that Shannon Sharp's type is an extra pale, extra skinny Caucasian. He definitely don't like a 5'5" thick in the thighs like Dr. Umar. He don't want brother almonds.
Oh, let's don't get started, Umar. Don't get started. You're already messy. You're already messy. You're already messy, bro. I'd keep yourself out of this.
But if he don't want fudge, cinnamon, mahogany, he don't even want African vanilla, African butterscotch, African lemonade. He wants some pale and skinny. I want him brown chocolate and curds. So anyway, they engage in this BDSM relationship. It appears that both of them allegedly are sadomasochistic. They are into BDSM behavior. Bondage, domination, submission, and humiliation. That's what BDSM means. Now, some people are asking the question, Art, why didn't Shannon find someone a little older? Why didn't Shannon, with his money and his fame, find an older white woman or older black woman, even if you went with your 30s, even if you went with your 20s? Why didn't Shannon, with his money and fame, get a woman who was a little bit more mature? I'm going to tell you why I think he didn't get a woman who was a little bit more mature, Art. Number one, he's not interested in women who are a little bit more mature. But also, Art,
like a lot of other men.
And I know that if you get you a sophisticated black woman, and I'm assuming it's the same for the Snow Bunny Mafia, but if you get you a sophisticated black woman, she ain't going to be doing all that freaked out stuff early on in the relationship. You're going to have to earn that if you get it at all, if you understand what I'm saying. Ain't no black woman I know, not no black woman of respect, whether she's a celebrity or whether a working class sister with a 9-to-5 trying to make ends meet. She is not going to be engaging in BDSM behavior unless you put a ring on it. You're either going to put a ring on it or you're going to pay her up front. And it appears that in Shannon's relationship with Gabriella, he wasn't taking care of her financially, right? It does not appear that he was taking care of the Snow Bunny financially. Because if he was, why are there texts of her asking him for $10,000? If you are a multi-millionaire celebrity, king of the black podcast amongst the celebrities, you on, News One, your first take with Stephen A. Smith, you're on ESPN, Fox, you could be on Fox Sports, whatever the case may be, you got money.
What y'all think?
I disagree with Umar when he. Reason I say that because he was like he was paying for I think a few of her places because everywhere he moved she would follow him, and he was paying for her places and things of that nature. It could just be it's possible she may have had a spending problem or greed. Hey, I want more. I mean, after all, she did send him a text. Hey, I'm going to start charging you $25,000, for SEX.
She has that right.
So, yeah. Well, legally, she doesn't because that's prostitution and that's illegal.
But she still has a right to ask for it.
I don't know because you get into solicitation, which is against
She
law.
thought they were in a relationship.
Boom. Yeah, I mean, that's how it's gonna be. She's doing exactly what any 19-year-old girl would do with this situation.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I agree wholeheartedly.
I don't even think she was really that attracted to Shannon at all.
And I'm pretty sure Shannon
Probably
Shannon did
not.
not respect her at all. He thought he could get away with it because his fame made him arrogant and careless. He's been celebrated so long, he mistook everybody's applause for immunity. And he didn't think a 19-year-old would ever talk, not when he had the money and the media charm. But power makes fools so bold. He didn't slip. He strutted straight into the scandal thinking no one would dare say his name. Now here we are. Pass the popcorn, drink
Yeah.
your tea.
Hmm. Yeah, and then too, you got to remember, you know, she's a well now 21, but at the time 19-year-old OnlyFans model. Okay, that was her meal ticket.
Yeah, I mean,
You
from what
know,
I heard, she was making pretty decent money herself, so we can't say it was like he pulled her out of destitution or anything like that. But let me
oh no, I'm not suggesting she was
okay,
destitute. I'm not
okay, let
suggesting
me
that.
wait 1 second. Let me read these great comments in the chat. We need to be realistic. This is from Why Seek Knowledge. We need to be realistic about the situation. Just because some financial dreams came through for you doesn't mean sexual ones will too, especially with Becky. Becky, I like that. And then Tiffany
Yeah.
Jackson says, Shannon said he dates his wage, not his age. What? What? He gets the woman he wants due to his high earning potential, which means, in his words, he doesn't have to settle for women in his age bracket. Wow. And then Miss RV says, Desire Harris, Camille Latigue, Danae Micaiah, and Madeline Soto at Henry, all 13. She was talking, and when Henry was saying, thinking about all these church people in the news for abusing their own daughters, bars. Miss RV is a wealth of knowledge and information when it comes to uh, these men being and their bad. I'm going to be nice tonight. Bad behavior.
Mm. Yeah, the only point I was trying to make was that when I suggested about bringing up her OnlyFans gig, basically she had nothing to lose.
Oh yeah.
So you got to remember,
Oh no,
again,
no,
you have to put
wait.
yourself in the.
Let me. She had her only gig. She only fans gig to lose.
No, she's not going to lose her OnlyFans. They're not going to block her on OnlyFans or
Oh, when you
terminate
say
her
nothing
account
to
on
lose, what you
OnlyFans.
mean is that there's nothing she's doing that will make her lose her OnlyFans.
Her OnlyFans. What I'm saying is that when people have nothing to lose, they become more dangerous. You know. So when I'm sorry, ma'am. I forgot your name on the panel.
Ghost.
Ghost. I apologize. I got it now. So you know, when Ghost had said earlier that, hey, you know, Shannon, you know what you're doing is stupid. You know, and this and that. You got to remember, you got to put yourself in the shoes of Shannon Sharp and say, okay, I'm dealing with a woman that has nothing to lose. You know, so I piss her off. You know, and this has been going on for about 30 years now. You know, so it's nothing new. You
Well,
know,
I got a little bit of
um,
pushback on that because I'm a woman and I've heard this stuff being said about myself. And I'm not young anymore, but I
uh,
have experienced it. So when people say she has nothing to lose, that's just really another way to strip her of her humanity and make her pain sound cheap. I mean, she risked her safety. Coming forward against a man who has power means she's being harassed, she's being threatened. She already was doxxed. The internet doesn't protect women, it punishes them. So, no, she wasn't fearless. She made herself vulnerable. She risked what little reputation she had. At 19, the moment she spoke up, people labeled her a liar, a gold digger, a setup. Men and the media rushed to destroy her character before even questioning his behavior. She knew that would happen and she still spoke up anyway. And just like Black women, she risks not being believed. Young women,
Mhm.
ex-workers, they're often the last to be believed and the first to be blamed. She didn't just lose her privacy, she lost her voice to the noise of the people who never cared what she had to say. You might not think much of it, but she risks her livelihood. Her identity's out, her past is under her microscope. It affects her, it affects her family. Any platform she had can be flooded with hate and future opportunities that she might have to go beyond the
Mhm.
X work. That's pretty much gone. So that's not nothing to lose. She pretty much put her whole life at risk. And ultimately, she risked her peace. No matter what people say, she will never be normal. This will follow her forever. Even if she wins this case, she's already lost the right
Mhm.
to be just left alone. So she had everything to lose, and he was counting on that. What he didn't expect is that she would still speak up anyway.
The thing is, ma'am, as far as I think it's more or less, I think it was Shannon Sharp's lawyers. But anytime you're going to have a case like this, you got to be prepared for everything to come out. You know, they have what they call discovery. In fact, I think the whole reason with the text messages, I believe that was Shannon Sharp's team that's been leaking them to the media, and that's the reason why those text messages are all over the internet. I think
It makes her look bad, but it makes him look worse.
Right.
I think, yeah, it does make. I mean, it does make them, especially when you say it's certain things like black man choke the tape. Black man choke white girl. You know, I'm gonna choke you in public, and
And
yeah,
slap you.
I mean that's
And money. He did offer her
yeah,
money. Clearly, it's like he knew what the situation
yeah.
was and he was agreeing to it. So he's trying to paint her as not being innocent, but it's like, man, you paint yourself with the same brush.
Right.
It's
Mhm.
not just a single wall. Her wall, your wall. Paint splash on both of them.
I think Shannon doesn't
Yep.
realize that being with a woman 1/3 your age is not innocent. It's just, I mean, morally innocent. Let me make that clear. It's not gonna, you're not going to ruin her reputation the more than you're gonna ruin your own with that simple fact.
Hmm.
Why is your side piece, your jump off, why are you not taking care of her? He broke the first rule of being a player as a celebrity. You keep them happy so they don't destroy you.
The fact that he brought up that in context like that tells you that he's speaking inexperience. That's all. That's all. You know. That's the problem. Is this from? He's a role model. Shannon's a role model. Look at that's the point that I need. I hope that we'll get through. Is look at these guys fighting to have relations with multiple women. They're literally fighting for that. That's the sad part. That takes, and the thing is this, for if you're not a Shannon Sharp and you're not making that kind of money, multiples takes, having multiple partners takes a lot of time that you should be spending on being successful. And a lot of the unknown dudes don't understand that. And in Kevin Samuel's situation, obviously it was taking time from him being, going to the doctor and getting himself checked out before he checked out. Because that's the only reason. Quite honestly, I believe Samuel's situation was preventable. But he was too careless himself to the point where he died. Literally
Yeah.
for sex. And that's the problem I have is all these younger men are being taught the same thing. That, oh wow, sex and money, that's the same. That's the same. Sex, and you know, F, you know, my stature, my situation, F being careful. They're not preaching that. UMAR never preached that. He's on here right now. He's on here right now preaching on how to take care of your side chick.
Yeah. Guys like him, they aren't praising the confidence. They're worshiping Shannon's cowardice. Shannon didn't finesse anything. He preyed on a barely legal girl and assumed that the receipts would never show up. And instead of calling that out, they're slobbering all over him like he cracked some mythical magical code. That ain't swagger, that's desperation, and it's exposing their own lack of principle quite loudly. They are showing us who they really are by supporting this mess.
Right. And I think Miss RV brings up a good point. She says, and Shannon told us her real name and her hobby or profession. The court case was filed under a Jane Doe, which means it's supposed to be you're not supposed to be saying all that. Now, see, Shannon's stupid, and I'll tell you why. And this is why this is another reason why they let him go. They don't want some dude who, if they get in a legal dispute with, telling all their business. These people, okay, aren't saying, well, he did it to her, but she won't do it to me. They don't think like that. They're thinking more like, well, this old Negro is willing to spill the beans on this girl when it basically, after asking her for an NDA, right? And she filed a Jane Doe and he still told on her. So he'll do the same to us. F him. We'll get ourselves another house Negro. That's what they're thinking. That's what ESPN, the brass is thinking. He exposed himself. That's why he lost $100 million, is now they can't trust him. If he said, oh, wow, you know, I wanted $1.5 million, and they say, okay, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it, Shannon. We'll talk about it. And then he does some, and then he what is it? Snitches on them, per se. That's what got that as much as it looking bad between her age and his age, that snitch mentality he has too, when put into a situation where he's in a judicial situation.
He
They
knew
ain't
what he
having
was
that.
doing. Shannon knew exactly what he was doing. He didn't dox her to clear his name. He did it to send her a message. Stay quiet or you will get dragged. That wasn't protection. That was punishment. He knew what would happen once her info hit the internet. Like I said before, harassment, hate, and humiliation. This wasn't a rebuttal. It was a warning shot.
Well
You
said.
don't expose someone if you're innocent. You do it when you're losing control.
Bars. All right, let's play a little bit more. Here we go.
You keep him happy, so they don't expose you. And he was not taking care of
And what's funny is this is his daughter exposed him. He obviously didn't. This man couldn't even keep his own daughter happy. That is hilarious. I'm sorry, people. I just see the stupid irony. He's literally coaching men on something he can't do himself. You can't even keep your own daughter happy, bro. And quite honestly, his daughter is quite understanding. She wasn't trying to. He punked her. All he had to do was just not punk her, and she would have been cool. I mean, what? Is she in her 20s? His daughter?
She grunt.
You know?
That was a big mistake. But she was okay with that, right? Why?
because it appears that Gabriella allegedly was looking forward to having Shannon Sharp's baby. Kept talking about getting pregnant. And then Uncle Shay Shay made another mistake because he says to her in the text message, if I still F with you around my birthday, if I still F with you around my birthday, you can remove the IUD. So Ash, he's having unprotected sex with a 19-year-old OnlyFans model. Illegal? No. Stupid? Yes. But
I'm telling you, next year something's gonna pop up again. Something's gonna be bad on Umar because he's defending Shannon Sharp. That is just wild, considering he couldn't even show up for his own daughter.
Right.
How you out here preaching black unity and protection, but you ghost the one black woman who needed you the most, your child? That's not leadership. That's selective accountability. You don't get to scold the community while excusing predators just because they look like you. He wasn't present as a father, so maybe he needs to sit this one out.
Thank you.
I mean, that's just common. Unfortunately, that's just too common. Unfortunately, it's like you know, like Al Sharpton, for example. you know, uh, all these black leaders that like to call themselves leaders, and man, they're just they're just scum of the earth. You know, they like them cameras. That's what it is. Like Al Sharpton, he was another one of those types. He just liked the cameras, and the cameras, uh, black unity and all this other stuff.
He's
Yeah,
still around, but he's not talking
but
on Shannon Sharp. I tell you that. Might be a little too close to home. He a little bit
Yeah,
quiet on this topic.
yeah, Tiffany Jackson says Shannon was a dog whistling to other men to come help him with against this young girl. Yep, he appealed to the woman has done me wrong, pain in so many men. Yeah, and she's barely a woman. That's the funny part. And Miss RB breaks it down like this. She says, and if his daughter didn't expose him, Umar would have been dragged Shannon simply because she was non-black. Bars.
here's where it gets even more critical on it. By telling her she can remove her IUD if you still messing with her around your birthday, you're giving her false hope. You're giving her false hope. And what you're doing, Uncle Shannon Sharp, is you're turning this from a transactional relationship with benefits, sex for cash, and you're turning this into a legitimate romance. When Shannon told her she can take out the IUD, which automatically implies it's okay to get pregnant now, you automatically led this woman into thinking she was going to have a long-term relationship with you that would involve a child. Now, you and I know all that something psychologically and emotionally had to be wrong with her because why is a 19-year-old OnlyFans snowbird thinking she's going to get married to or have a baby with Shannon Sharp? It don't make sense. Why would he give you a baby and have to walk around letting the world know I impregnated someone younger than my own daughters, almost old enough to be my granddaughter?
Bars. No, old enough? Yeah. Old enough? Yeah.
But let's not play dumb here. This scandal hits a little bit harder because the girl was young and white. If she was black, the world would have called her bitter, clout chasing, or she would have just been invisible. But whiteness, it amplifies that pain. It makes the media listen and it makes the system kind of move and it even makes some defenders go quiet. Shannon didn't just gamble with youth, he gambled with the type of privilege that turns whispers into headlines. This didn't go viral because she's a victim. It went viral because society decided she was the kind of victim worth caring about.
Exactly. Eden Adele, welcome. Eden Adele says this: Shannon exposed that girl, hoping to discredit her publicly to make it harder for her in a court of law. Now he just looks like like the big black beast that attacked a little young white girl. Dummy. Hashtag dummy. And that's truth. Truth.
Not going to do that. For her to think he would tells you that she had the mind of a child. Wishful thinking, imaginary thinking, without a lot of common sense in life. So let's go further on.
Now, let me pause right there. He's actually correct, though it sounds weird coming from him because he's got his own issues. But that's the thing. Why is it sounds weird to hear a 55-year-old man with some life behind him, more behind him than ahead of him, saying that he's being um let's get it out there. He's being abused by a little girl. That action by itself, and the fact that he's a leader of the young black men community and red pill community, because he definitely isn't anything else but that, should be embarrassing to all the men in that community and should be a huge problem. Let's put it that way, because if he's so powerful and everything, what happened? How did she get him over? How did she get him? How did she lose him? Though she didn't do it, he did it to himself. But he's trying to make it seem like she lost him the $100 million.
This whole time she's telling Shannon, I want this big black baby. She says, I always wanted a black baby. Now, time out. Why does a 19-year-old snow bunny says she always wanted a black baby? You always wanted a black baby for what? Because you didn't want a black baby to raise it, because you're not black. Why would you want a black baby given the hell that black people suffer in this country? I believe she was trying to sweet talk him into the pregnancy. I believe she was trying to.
Hey, DJ Torch, can you pause it for 1 second?
Got it.
Get this. So remember that woman Michelle, the one he got when he went live on Instagram? Apparently, she sued Shannon Sharp. Man, that's a tongue twister. 2 years ago.
Holy moly!
Yeah. Yep. Sued him in New York.
The 23 previous suits he had against her.
Man.
Well, that's
23.
Yeah.
So they gave him 23 chances. That just shows you that, okay, let's think about it like this. Shannon Sharp is a leader in the community for black men. He had 23 chances to get it right. The society gave him 23 chances to get it right and still get paid $100 million. And he still blew it. What does that say about us? Man. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless.
Yeah.
Talk him into the pregnancy. And then what she said.
There should be no way. Well, number one, that's why you're not supposed to be dating people 1/3 your age. You're supposed to. The thing is this. No, never mind. I'll just let this guy talk.
You better get used to it. She texted him Art and she said, you better get used to me. Because once you put that big black baby in me, you ain't never getting rid of me. She said, you better get used to me. after you put that big black baby in me, you ain't never getting rid of me. And I think that was the text message that scared Shannon Sharp. When Shannon got that text message, when she said, after you put that big black baby.
Why psychoanalysis is this? Hypocrisy. Black men have so many biracial babies out of self-hate, thinking they look so much better. LOL, get out of here with that.
You ain't never getting rid of me. That's when he knew he was dealing with a psycho. And I think
She's not a psycho. See, this is where I can tell that this man right here is defending Shannon Sharp, and now it's getting to a point where it's well, it always has been to that point. It's getting into a point where it's kind of she's a little girl. She's just thinking about that's how life is, you know. I know what psychos look like. She's not a psycho. She's just simply saying, I want to be in your life forever. I mean, every little girl wants to be in the life of their husband. You know, they carry around little baby dolls all day and shit. She might be doing the OnlyFans thing, but she hasn't lived the kind of relationship life it sounds like to me. And the funny thing is this, y'all. He's making it sound like Shannon's the victim of a 19-year-old girl. And I'm making a point of saying girl. That's disgusting. Regardless the race of this young lady. This is, and I believe Ghost brought it up. If this was a young black girl, nobody would even be saying anything about it.
They sure didn't care about Cassie, and the video rolled out, and people still like, "Oh, that's AI. That's not real."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, folks, I think we've done a great 3 hours. 3 hours today.
Wow.
This was amazing. Ghost was amazing. Darnell was excellent. The chat was popping. Anyway, let me kick that beat one more time and do some shout outs, and we'll call it a night. And definitely y'all check in on my channel because you may not get any notifications. So check in on my channel. This is Flag on the Play. Everybody got flags in this show. UMAR, Shannon, everybody. They got their flags. Here we go.
Flag on the play. Old head reckless, young trap got paid. Both sides foul game, dirty game fake. Ain't no winners when the soul's at stake.
All right, shout out to Why is Thinking Knowledge, Miss RV, Eden Adele. Yeah, exactly. Black men with zero D discipline often expect to maintain wealth because they believe that relationships are low-key pimp game. I'll say the words. And they're in love with PIMP psychology bars. Why psychoanalysis is this? This girl was thotty and lady of the nightest, yes, nightest hit. And Shannon was a whole trick. Nobody's a victim. This happens exactly. They still don't care much about Cassie. Sorry, I messed that up. I butchered that. Miss RV. I'm surprised SS doesn't have any biracial kids. Yeah. You know something, Miss RV? I guarantee you that's going to come out soon. Good night, DJ and Chad. From Miss Alto, Miss Alto in the mix. Tiffany Jackson says, I wonder if black men understand how detrimental this type of behavior is for them on a national and international level. Bars. Henry Mars. Shannon Sharp just go like Elon Musk. He got all these women and kids. All right, that jam is jamming. Tanya Sweat in the house. The Nervous World in the house.
Eden Adele is wrapping up her birthday.
It's her birthday?
She's wrapping it up, squeezing in the end of it. Happy birthday, Eden.
Eden Adele. Everybody. Welcome Eden Adele. Birthday. You know something? I got to remix this. Hold on one second. Yeah, we got to remix this. Okay. Eden Adele. Happy birthday.
She knew the playbook, running them routes. Only fans hustle, no room for doubt. Line them up easy, bait in the mouth. Took the shot, took the tape, now cashing out. Flag on the play, both sides wild.
Alto on the mix.
Old fool, young shark, dirty to file. This ain't love, it's a circus trial.
Wishing twice knowledge, great healing power. That's what we're gonna do. I'm glad everything is cool. Sit back, relax. Heal up. We're gonna always be here for you. Why is seeking knowledge?
You fumbled your legacy, fame corroding. She called an audible, flipped the scheme.
Sugar Love dropped in for a minute. Thanks you, Sugar Love, for coming through.
You lined up wrong, now you part of the meme. Flag on the play, both sides.
Hey, Mama. Mama said this. I was in a TikTok scrolled across out of white talking trash. Yeah, we played that tonight. Hey, Mama. Yes, he was talking hard trash. Too bad he's in the same situation himself. Angela Reddick.
He caught slipping, she caught a case. Big money, bad press, dirty disgrace. NFL legend in a TikTok race. Timeout call, but the damage done. No Hail Mary saves.
Great appreciation to Ghost for access to this music. It's jamming. Like it's popping. I don't know. On fire. Susie Bear. Susie, we'll see you on the next one. Susie Bear in the house.
DJ, have you seen Sinners yet?
I need to see that. Have you?
I think I'm gonna roll out. There's the local one next to me is playing in 30 minutes. I think I'm gonna roll on over for late night and see Sinners, so I can go to church in the morning. I think that's good balance.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give. I'm gonna see. It'll probably be out on stream in a couple days, so I may wait. But there is a theater up the way from me that I do enjoy to go to, so I might check that out.
Hey DJ, if I can make a suggestion, I think this episode, you should do a part 2 to this.
I got enough for a part 2 too. You know.
Yeah, I just found something out. So remember I was telling you he got sued 2 years ago. Michelle Evans, she filed a $4 million lawsuit. All right. So I googled his net worth. He's only worth 14 million, an estimated 14 million. Yep.
Oh yeah, there's gonna have to be a part. This was part 2, but there's gonna have to be a part 3.
Yes, I was just doing some digging, and man, I was like, man, there's There's
I'll tell
just
you one thing. Ghost told us. She told us it was going to get messy. You know, she told us it was going to get messy. She told us it was going to get messy with Shannon, and she told us it was going to get messy with UMAR. So, you know, it's I might have to increase the amount of times I'm online.
yeah. This whole thing. I mean, now, man. I mean, what I just looked up. I mean, that just changes everything. I mean, it's like so now. I'm like, man, they both stupid now.
Yeah, I told you it's stupid talking about stupid on stupid. You know.
Yeah, because like, I mean, okay, Shannon is stupid for. Okay, I got sued 2 years ago. Here I am doing the same exact thing, man. Normally, you kind of tighten up a little bit after the first one.
Exactly. I mean, that's the point I'm trying to show everybody. This is a man who's literally almost 60 and he still hasn't learned yet.
I really think it's because this young one was what he always fantasized about. I sent you an article, DJ. I
Got
just
it.
seen. Yeah, that's the first time I've seen this woman, and now I know why he was clinging so tightly to this baby.
I don't even. You want to know the truth, though, ma'am? I don't even think she's that attractive.
No, she's
A
not.
young girl? Oh no, but you haven't seen Michelle yet. I don't think it's not that.
Oh, Michelle. No,
It's
I
not
haven't
that
seen
she's
her.
unattractive, but she is age appropriate white woman.
Right. For him. Yeah.
So we do part 2. Let's let these people go to bed.
All right. All right.
Oh, I thought you was already off.